Queensland-trained duo had drawn inside and out. And they're off and racing in the Emancipation, and Prompt Response won the start, but Daisy Dooms railing through to join her, and Oregon's Days a close third. Zambar looking to slip in on the outside of Fox Play. Dixie Blossoms gets back with Eckstein about 5 lengths off the lead, which is Daisy, and Dixie Blossoms last and 5 lengths off the stablemate and leader Daisy Doom. Going towards the 750, Daisy Doom on top by Nectar Prompt Response. Then Fox Play, Oregon's Day, Zambar about to pull out from Eckstein, and Dixie Blossoms last about to get to wider running. Coming around the corner, 450 to run in the Emancipation. Daisy Doom held together by Atkins just in front of Prompt Response. Fox Play pushed on, so's Oregon's Day. Eckstein in a bit of a pocket, then Zambar and Dixie's winding up down the outside. Dixie Blossoms, Daisy Doom's been headed off by Oregon's Day, Prompt Response. Then Dixie Blossoms the outside, Fox Play the fence. Oregon's Day, Prompt Response, Dixie Blossoms, Prompt Response in front from Oregon's Day. Prompt Response clinging on. Prompt Response won the Emancipation. Prompt Response from Oregon's Day. Not sure third. Dixie Blossoms very wide out, and Fox Play up the fence. Daisy Doom stuck on. Then Eckstein and Zambar was about the last to finish.
Prompt Response has held off Oregon's Day. Another second for Oregon's Day, and Dixie out wide is prominent. Picks up another Group 2 yesterday, winning the Emancipation Stakes.
Yeah, what can we say about these fillies and mares? Well, there's just a split match between a lot of them. The Coolmore, there was a length and a half covering, 8 or 9 of them. There's, less than a length probably covering most of the field here. It comes down to run-of-the-race stuff. They've charged home in the quickest last 600 of the day here. Prompt Response, well, that's her strength. She's got a great racing style. She's just so genuine. She conserves energy on the speed. Oregon Day was up in weight and was pretty good. Dixie Blossoms probably wasn't suited the way the race was run. Daisy Dooms obviously proved that she's not a leader there. She's probably a better on-speed chaser. Fox Play run a better race. Eckstein wasn't far away. I don't know. These fillies and mares, there's just nothing between them at the moment.
I think...
And Astoria hopped out of the gates in front. Astoria is going to lead from Urella, Boyd, Lavendi. Mongolian Marshall a handy fourth. Very deep out, Weather With You going forward. We've got our Mantra Tangmere back towards the rails, and Octobello and the white blinkers surging forward. Getting past Augustus, then Bullet Shot from Goodenough. Primitivo caught a bit deep early. Further back to Loveways, Passaro, and taken back to last is Belfast as Weather With You rolls forward from the white gate, and Weather With You takes the lead away from Loveways, and 2 lengths out the back to Belfast. It'd be about 14 lengths off the lead, which is Weather With You. Going to the 1,000 metres, out by a length on the long shot, Urella Boy. 2 further back to Astoria, third on the inside of the well-fancied Lavendi. Then came Mongolian Marshall on the inside of Octobello. Further back to our Mantra, then Tangmere. Primitivo's been caught 3 deep the trip. Further back to Augustus, Goodenough. Bullet Shots out 3 wide. Well back in the field then, Passaro from Lovewaves, and Belfast sees them all. It's Weather With You and Urella Boy ensuring a good gallop going to the 600. Urella Boy's come off the bridle. The leader still travels for the moment. Then Astoria from Lavendi, Octobello, Tangmere all pulling out. Primitivo's cast very deep, and Mongolian Marshall saving plenty of ground on the fence. Into the straight now, and Weather With You in front by 2 lengths to Lavendi winding up. Mongolian Marshall back to the fence, and Astoria gets the gap now. Coming with a big run, Astoria going to Weather With You and Lavendi. Mongolian Marshall's just grinding away. It's Astoria in front from Lavendi. Astoria at the 75 in front from Lavendi. Astoria, Lavendi levelling up late. Lavendi got up right on the post to claim the Talik. Lavendi bloused down a Game Astoria. Weather with You. Belfast rocketing home late. Then Mongolian Marshal from Uralla Boy. Further back to Passaro, Goodenough, Octobello, Tangmere, Loveways, Augustus, our Mantra and Primitivo wide the trip.
Lavendi beats Astoria, both coming out of the Alistair Clark Stakes, and Weather With You holds on for third. It's 2, 1 and 5 after the Tulloch.
Yeah, the money was right there. Good, tough performance up to 2,000 metres there with Lavendi. Look, that Alistair Clark form did stack up well there with Astoria. Weather With You, boy, what a staying performance that was. He went out very hard. And I think
Clark form, the Victorian form, stood up in this.
It stood up big time, didn't it? And geez, the Victorians are strong here at this time of year, you know, and we're strong in Melbourne in the spring, and all of a sudden they come here in the autumn and they're fairly dominant. They've had a really good start to the carnival. Lavendi here, he's back in business here. He showed improvement in the Alistair Clark. He got himself on the speed and he was very tough running down Astoria late here. Weather With You did all the work up front and battled on well in a nice derby trial there. Mongolian Marshal, I just think a month between runs with a little bit of pressure there, just found him out that little bit there at his first time at 2,000 metres. I wouldn't rule him out as far as improving dramatically off that run there. And I'd have to say the run of the race was this Belfast. He just did everything wrong at his first way this direction. If we have a look at him just coming out of the barrier here and he gets to the first turn, that's him running last there in the green and blue colours. He's just all at sea when he hits the first turn. And it's like he wants to just keep running off the track when he gets around that first turn, and he does plenty wrong. There he's on the wrong leg. Michael Walker just has to correct him and bring him back underneath him, and he runs off the track there again. He's just doing a lot wrong, that horse, but his finishing burst was that of a real Derby prospect.
Yeah, he certainly didn't really know what was going on, did he? But he was a horse that came up the inside and saved all the ground and hit the line strongly.
Derby.
Yeah, and there's the Derby market there. Ace High, who's I think he's still in business. Furore, Vinda Dance, Belfast has really tightened up there. I think he was 25 to 1, so no one missed that performance. Mission Hill, Mongolian Conqueror, Lavendi. Looked all the improvers there. Tangle's going along okay.
Great,
yeah, it's a
So the Tancred Stakes, 2,400 metres, Group 1, one of the great races we run here at Rosehill Gardens. For many years, run on Golden Slipper Day.
Today. Pretty hard to hold out to make it the quick Group 1 double from the Melbourne Cup winner of 2 years ago, Amanda, who's prepping for the Sydney Cup next month. Single Gaze, I find it hard to think she could turn it around on Galo's Shop. But
in the Tancred.
Yeah, I've got to go the other way. 2, 1, 3 and 6. I'm with Elmandan here. He's a class stayer. We know that. I think a trip away with some of these older horses can't fault. I must say he's going to back up well here. He hasn't dropped an ounce of weight by the look, just to the eye looking at him. Good long shot, Ambitious, the ex-Japanese horse here, and Ouvre at the top of his game could surprise. 2, 1, 3 and...
The stablemate.
And the gates open, they're off and racing, and Galo's Shop was the first into stride. Single Gaze given a real dig up from gate 1. Harlem's going forward as well, and Elmandan up into a forward position. Then came Ambitious from Ventura Storm, Lasquetti Spirit making hard work of it early from Who Shot the Barman and Auvre's last. Galo's Shop crosses down to the rails to lead, and Elmandan's going to do the chasing on the outside. Just a little wayward turning out of the straight the first time, but Elmandan's found second position, and Single Gaze leaders back again, getting a bit closer at this point, but would be about 10-12 lengths off the lead. Lasquetti Spirit at the halfway mark takes a 2.5 length lead on Galo's Shop. Zara sitting quietly there on the favourite. 2 further back to Elmandan with McAvoy back in the saddle. First time since winning the Melbourne Cup, and Elmandan running third. Ambitious starting to pick up ground now at the 9.50 and fourth. They're followed by Single Gaze, one off the fence. Further back to Ventura Storm from Harlem, Who Shot the Barman, and Aubrey still back last. This 100 to 1 shot is running a big race in the lead, going inside the 800. Lasquetti Spirit 3 lengths clear from Galo's Shop, and Ambitious keeps improving ground, going to third. A half the outside to Elmandan. Now Single Gaze pulling to the outside. Hurrah really building up the revs there. Harlem going through the centre from Ventura Storm, form. Who Shot the Barman? Aubrey sees them all coming around the turn. Galo Shot makes the move now and takes the lead with our Mandan going to a clear second. Ambitious third, 300 out. Galo Shot in front from our Mandan. Then Ambitious, Harlem and Single Gaze. Our Mandan's running the big race. Goes after Galo Shot. It's our Mandan and Galo Shot. Our Mandan gets his head in front. Aubrey's flashing home. Our Mandan's drawn clear. Who Shot the Barman? Aubrey late, but our Mandan takes out the Tancred. Ambitious kicked on for second from Who Shot the Barman, grabbing Galo Shot for third. Then Single Gaze from Aubrey, Harlem, Ventura, Storm and Lasquetti Spirit.
Al Mandan wins the Group 1. Karen McAvoy back on board, the man that rode him to win a Melbourne Cup. And he wins a Group 1 over the 1.5 miles at Wait for Age in what was a thrilling contest today. Second, we'll wait for the number to get.
It is for me, yeah. It's pleasing to get back on him, and obviously like to thank Liam and Lloyd Williams and Nick Williams for the opportunity. They got him in great shape today, and it's good to see him bounce back at the top level.
Absolutely. I mean, he's rising 9 this year, but absolutely flying.
Yeah, he's moving very well, and it was nice and bright beforehand, as Lloyd and Liam said, and he was full of beans throughout the run. He travelled really well. Spring the leads and we ended up a bit more forward than what I thought we might be, but he travelled really well, and he's strong at the end of that 2,400 there today.
Yet again, Group 1 Karen.
Yeah, mile and they don't come here often. We'd like to see more of them, but when they do come, they rarely go home. And Might and Power and Mackay Diva, and Al Mandan goes on the list as well.
Yeah, he does. Look, he like I said, I thought he was beautifully ridden. He rolled forward from an awkward draw there. He got into a good spot. He made a bit of a move to make a staying test of it here, Karen, and knowing that Galo Chop had you know, the one run at 1.5 miles earlier in his career for a failure. So Galo Chop was good, just didn't finish it off. This Japanese horse, Ambitious, well, he ran into the back of Lasquetti Spirit there at a vital stage, and I thought he lost a little bit of momentum and should have finished much closer with and well, isn't he a marvellous horse? Who Shot the Barman, third up, 2,400. He's in for another campaign where he's going to pick up a bit of money, but I thought all honours with the winner, and I'm looking forward to him probably heading to a race like the Sydney Cup, considering his staying prowess.
Also, as you mentioned, just touched on the second horse. I'm seeing him before, first time looking at him. He's a magnificent type. He's certainly a horse that I'm looking forward to seeing where they go next with him. Ouvre, I had a chat to Jason Collett after the race, and I said he was hard work. He just didn't travel at all. And Richard Friedman actually said he sometimes does that for other jockeys. So he's obviously missing having his normal jockey on board. Craig Williams, Ambitious?
Oh, I was really impressed with his run. Second run in Australia. He's never had form in his whole life at 1.5 miles. He still did a lot wrong. Can see why he's a bit better off being a little bit shorter. But to run second to a Melbourne Cup winner at Wait for Age, had his second run in Australia, these exciting times for Ambitious.
Ty Anglin, who's
Last 100.
Mark Zara, Galo Shop?
Yeah, he's super. Lasquetti Spirit's just a pest.
Kathy O'Hara, Single Gaze?
Yeah, good run.
OK, let's have a look at the Sydney Cup market now. On the back of his win, he is firm from $8 into $3.50. Stablemate Loftus there, and Ambitious is an $8 chance as well, but firming right up and a clear favourite now, guys.
Yeah, understandably so, considering his 2 mile record as well. I think he's only got 57 kilos, so I don't think he's harshly treated there. So, look, if they press on, I
Gardens Race 7, the Vinery Stud Stakes over 2,000 metres. Group 1 for the 3-year-old fillies. Let's go straight up to Darren Flindell.
Boy, High Arm's a tough little filly. She never gives up this one, and I think she's a great each way bet at the price off the inside gate. I think she'll be in the top 4 in the runner, and that'll give her an advantage there to just out-slug it with them there at the end. Elise was out
days in a trial since getting knocked over really in the Guinea, so we'll never know. So we know she's high quality when right. There's indications that she's going to go more forward today, and all the good form is when she has pressed forward. So interested to see what Lizzie's got to say about it.
Being at Rose Hill, and they're out on the track there, 3.5 away from the Vinery Stud Stakes for the 3-year-old fillies. We race for $500,000 here. First gets 287,000. Many of these on the way to the Oaks. Elise is your top pick, Brass.
She certainly is. She's coming out of the Coolmore.
Say that again, Greg. In fact, 3 minutes ago, it was a $4.80 chance. It is now $3.70 with tab.com.au.
but a ewe. So that is a very, very good move for Unforgotten. Aloysia.
Heavily back. Gates open now. They're off and racing. And Elise left well together with High Arm on the fence. And Dance quickly into stride going to third. Rimram holds a forward spot on the fence from Madame Markovic and caught deep as Aloysia early. Samari is slicing through the middle of the pack. Then came Dancers. Now further back to Unforgotten is back with All Too Soon. Miss Admiration. Bring Me Roses and Tourville is being restrained back to last. Hyam's going to lead comfortably there inside the mile mark, and it's Hyam out by 2.5 lengths on Dance. Keen in second. Rimran third. Elite and Madame Markovic. Further back to All Too Soon. Aloysia from Miss Admiration. The favourites back third last Unforgotten from Bring Me Roses, and Tourville last about a dozen off the lead, which is Hyam going to the 750 full of running. 2 lengths clear from the New Zealand filly Dance. Then Rimram. Then came Elise and 4. Samari being scrubbed up from Madame Markovic as this leader ups the tempo coming to the turn. Aloysia's been off the track. Then All Too Soon from Dances. Unforgotten would be 10 off the lead, turning for home into the straight now, and Hyam goes for home at this point. 4 lengths clear from Dance. Then came Elise. Further back to Rimram. Aloysia and Unforgotten. She's getting into her work now. She's really starting to come. Hyam 3 lengths clear from Elise. Then Unforgotten. It's Hyam at the 150 clear from Unforgotten going to second. Hyam kept going, and Hyam a daring front-running ride by Michael D, and Hyam beats Unforgotten. Aloysia third in front of Elise. Then Dance from Tourville. Further back to Samari, Miss Admiration, Madame Markovic. Further back then to Bring Me Roses and Rimram. Good gap back to Dancers and All Too Soon.
Number 9, High Arm has won the Vinery Stud Stakes. Michael D and Mick Price combined. They didn't give any others a look in there. High Arm has led from barrier to box. Unforgotten got into second. Aloysia was 4 wide, no cover, and has the audacity to run third, albeit beaten a fair way by the winner, but enormous. High Arm at 13.10 has won the Vinery.
To be, and she knows she's going to be strong to the line.
I'm back in a couple of weeks.
Fingers crossed.
Well done.
No worries, thank you.
Luke Wilkinson from the Mick Price stable. They get a Group 1 as Michael D comes back to scale. 9, 7, 1 and 2.
Like she was last start, I was critical of the way they rode her first up when she attacked the, she attacked Gay's favourite in the race, and the stablemate chimed in there. But I must say, to their credit, they rode her the same way yesterday, and that's obviously the way to ride her. And she got them off the bit there. She kept running. It's a Great Oaks trial. She's only second up here. In saying that, there was style in the winner, but I think there's substance in the second horse. She's put 2 good ones together now. She's primed for the Oaks. I'd say the run of the day, Aloysia, when you have another look at it. Wide, no... I know the track was playing wide, but she was wide, no cover for 2,000 metres there and stuck on particularly well. The question mark is, was that a gut buster? And can she run the Oaks distance, which she didn't run, although she got a poor ride in the spring in the Oaks? Just little questions mark there. A lot of merit in that performance.
Elise?
Mark there. A lot of merit in that performance.
Elise definitely doesn't stay.
No, she ran well. And class took us, through in there to 4th position, but she doesn't stay. That's correct.
That's correct.
A deserved favourite here in Unforgotten here. Aloysia, as I said, I thought it was the run of the day. She just has to stamp off that staying box, and there's huge raps on this Kiwi, Savvy Coup. Dance is has gone okay yesterday. He's probably looking for the 1.5 miles after a 1.5 miles lead up, and the story is Lover. Is she going to be okay for next week? Because she was all the rage leading into this meeting, and she had that, I think she had a bit of a blood count problem with the white cells or whatever, so hopefully John Sargent can get on top of that with her.
The one thing I will
gates open. Often racing. Holy Snow is a bit sluggish out of the gates and Assimilate's taken back. And Whiteout Sondalon and Dissolution, the first two into stride. Villamot away well to third. Then Sambro from Beaugest, Icon of Dubai and Murakeb going through on the rails. Further back to Holy Snow, mustering on the inside of Think Straight. Good back then to second lastly. Chap sees them all about 12 off the lead, which is Sondalon at the 800 metres. A length on Dissolution. Sambro inching closer in third. Two after Villamont travelling well, followed by Murakeb, then Beaugest. Further back to Icon of Dubai is on the outside of Holy Snow. Then came Assimilate from Think Straight, and Charlie Chap is still last. Approaching the corner now. 450 out. Sondalon's been in front from the outset from Dissolution. Then Sambro being squeezed the inside. Villamont next from Murakeb. Holy Snow's looking for a bit of daylight. Not getting it. Beaugest trying to keep it in a pocket. Icon of Dubai to the outside. He's out now on Holy Snow. Dissolution hits the lead. Murakeb goes to it. Holy Snow running on from Villamont. Murakeb got to the front, 100 out. Murakeb in front from Dissolution and Holy Snow. Murakeb still in front. Murakeb gets the money. Murakeb by a length on the line to Dissolution. A half head away third, Holy Snow. Then came further back to Villamont, Sondalon, then Beaugest. Icon of Dubai. Assimilate didn't pick up, nor Sambro. Then Think Straight and Charlie Chap.
Even up.
Well, talk about Murakeb.
Yeah, well, Murakeb was excellent. I mean, he was always showing plenty of promise in the spring, wasn't he, Duff? He was certainly a horse that I liked to follow. I thought he was going to run in a Guineas, and he was really strong over the mile. He just took probably a little bit of time to season to Sydney, but he was just the dominant stayer on that day. And I think there's talk of him maybe dropping back in distance and heading to the All Age.
Okay, he's back in form there, and he's Sir Charles Road on top for me. I just feel he can take up an on-pace position here and run a really good race this New Zealand. I'm just worried where Elwood's going to get in the run here. He won't want to get too far back. I know he deserves a change of luck. 11 Peribson won't be far away, and 13 Ormito likewise. 6, 8, 11 and 13.
Allwood, the favourite, the horse on your screen there now, just a little bit easy, out to $4.80. He was 4.20 into 4 right throughout the day. Numbers 6 and 7. So Charles Road comes off a high of 15. Sismontane comes in a high of 10. Was 14 yesterday. There, but
one money around for Domed as well. It's been 14 into a pretty wide open. They're backing a few.
2600 won't be a problem for Sir Charles Road. He ran around in the Group 1 Auckland Cup over the 2 miles last time out.
Sure did, beaten about a length and a half or so, and he was up running second with a lap.
The last to go forward. And the gates open, they're off and racing now. And a pretty good start out overall. Up Cups and Sismontane towards the inside jump well. Domed is pushing forward. Imperial Aviator in a very forward roll today. Then Ventura Storm just behind together with Armito, Master of Arts. Admiral Jello's in a very sticky position off the track. Then came Albert from Sir Charles Road going through on the fence. Peribson in the second half of the field from Wheel Leisure the outside. Going up the inside is Dorkan, 3 off to Double Bluff. And Zakata is back at the tail of the field. They turn out of the straight. Imperial Aviator got the lead. He's out by 2 lengths. Sismontane second from Up Cups. And Admiral Jello right off the track has to push forward. There's no way in, so Admiral Jello to second last, and Zakata sees them all. They've got 900 metres to run. Imperial Aviator the front runner by a half length to Admiral Jello. Sismontane in third, followed by Up Cups. Now Sir Charles Road's off the fence, looking for clearer running. Ventura Storm the outside of it. 2 further back to Albert, is trying to work into the clear. It's just in front of Master of Arts. Then came Domed, and further back to Dukan as they come up to the turn. Imperial Aviator is being challenged by Admiral Jello. Sismontane, Ventura Storm, the widest, just lugging a bit, and Sir Charles Road's getting a split between them. 3 further back to Allwood being revved up. Sir Charles Road and Ventura Storm go to the front of the 300. They beat off Admiral Jello. Then Allwood, Peribson making some ground. It's Sir Charles Road, the inside of Ventura Storm. Stride for stride, great battle. Sir Charles Road in front of Ventura Storm, who tries, but Sir Charles Road's too good. Sir Charles Road wanted a neck to Ventura Storm. Peribson third, followed then by Dukan flashing home, Ormito deeper out. Then came Admiral Jello from Allwood, Master of Arts. Further back to Zakata, Sismontane, Domed, Imperial Aviator, Double Bluff, Wheel Leisure, and Up Cups was one of the last to finish in the chairman's quality.
Sir Charles Road, number 6, Blake Shin on board for former champion Josh jockey Lance O'Sullivan, and in partnership with Andrew Scott, holds off Ventura Storm. It is 6 Sir Charles Road, found by Ron Duffy, beating 1 Ventura Storm, and Peribson number 11 will get third. We'll have the full tote details and more.
He is second pick ahead of the filly Ahood and outright.
13 into 11, not a single cent also tried, 17 to 14. The English Sires is just under 4 away. Werribee first.
So don't now a $5.50 chance, but Ahood retains favouritism here, was $3.60 into as short as 3. Just back out to a $3.20 chance now. Seabrook, the 4, has been very, very firm throughout the day. 5 first thing into $4.80 and has basically remained around that mark. 23 this morning, now into a $10 chance. Bondi and Longleaf was 9 out to 10. Not a single cent is at 15, but the biggest firm today is definitely Tchaikovsky here, Greg, on now equals second at $5.
We get sent with a couple out.
Yeah, still 3.30, Greg. Ahood. Seabrook stays 5. Tchaikovsky stays 5.50. Bondi and Longleaf at 10. Not a...
Sandwick on day 1 of the championships. Here's Darren Flindell for the English Sires.
We're all set now. The first of the Group 1. Stand by for a start. Ahood is the favourite. And they're off and racing. And Ahood is given a positive right out of the gates. Encryption wide out together with Bondi. We're quickly into stride, but Ahood is right up with the leaders as well. And Ring-a-Ding-Ding's on the speed. Ring-a-Ding-Ding and Encryption vie for the early lead, and Ahood lands the spot behind them. Then Bondi, followed by Tchaikovsky on the rails. The outside is Spin. Further back to Longleaf. Now Separators beaten for speed and caught a bit deep. Seabrook's about midfield, the fence in the red jacket. Then came Outrageous from Adana, Ragged Rascal. Further back to Not a Single Cent has been snagged back through the field from Eldorado Dreaming, and Affogato is the last one. It's Bondi racing to a narrow lead from Ring-a-Ding-Ding. Encryption in third, followed by Spin the outside of Tchaikovsky. Ahood was right with the leaders early, but back to about 6 now with Separate the outside and Longleaf. Then came Seabrook on the fence, and further back to Outrageous coming around the turn. Bondi just in front of Ring-a-Ding-Ding, followed by Tchaikovsky weaving a run through off the fence. Hasn't got out as yet. Seabrook's creeping up behind them. Then Encryption, Spin, and Ahood's got traffic in front. Eldorado Dreaming with a big run down the outside. Bondi hits the front. Ahood, Encryption, Spin, and Eldorado Dreaming the roughie. Ahood gets the rails run. Sprints fast. Eldorado Dreaming. Ahood, and Eldorado Dreaming. They're wide apart. It's a photo finish. The favourite Ahood and the roughie of the field, Eldorado Dreaming. I think Outrageous third in front of Spin, then Bondi, Longleaf, Seabrook. Further back to Not a Single Cent, Ragged Rascal. Encryption, Ring-a-Ding-Ding, Tchaikovsky, Adana and Affogato.
Dear me, what has won the Sires? Is it Ahood, one of the favourites? The favourite? Or is it this rank outsider at 100 to 1, Eldorado Dreaming, down the outside? Here's the low angle. What has won this Group 1? Ahood, Eldorado Dreaming on that low shot. It's the 100 to 1 pop, and it's won! It has won! Number 15, Eldorado Dreaming. I'm sorry, Bill Collins, but goodness gracious me.
You can say that again. 200 to 1 bet all morning. It's 100 to 1 it starts. It's defied every pattern of the day, coming right down the outside. Would you believe it? No, I'm still getting over this one.
And even more so for you because you thought you got beat.
Yeah, I thought I got beat and I was really devastated with myself because I thought I went too early. So, what a credit to Ben and his team for bringing her here today in such great order, and obviously she's got a bucket load of talent.
Indeed. Take me through the run that you had.
I went back from the wide draw, seeing most of the field. I think I was second last, and as we turned for home, I thought, gee, this horse is travelling. And I thought I might have waited a bit too long on one earlier on Manicure, so I just went for home and I thought I'd done the opposite, and I thought I got done late, but what a thrill.
What a big day for Benny. He's still got in her time to come.
Where is Mum now?
Mum is just she has just got a weanling to cluster, and she might get upgraded now.
Are you going to keep that one?
Oh yes. Oh yes.
I was ready to interview you today because I thought you've got a great chance of winning a TJ Smith. But there's no way I envisage seeing you right here, right now, after this sires.
No, it's a bit of a surprise. But, you know, we thought she'd come here and run well. We weren't here just to make up the numbers. And to win, though, we didn't expect her to win, but we expected her to run well.
Why'd you take it to Tancred?
Set of the day. This is the Group 1 sires. Now, we've had big upsets in this race before. Mighty Manor 2 won the sires in 82 with Wayne Harris on board at 200 to 1. Wow. Here is... Look, there'd be a lot of people out there watching this morning who had never heard of Eldorado Dreaming before yesterday.
Well, I hadn't. I know that. Beaten at Tamworth on a heavy 8, fourth at Warwick Farm, second at Newcastle, and here it comes. Wins the Group 1. Like I said, 250 to 1 bet earlier in the week. Oh, Hood. She's run into another excuse there, getting held up with momentum, with all out wide here with the bolter there. And I'll tell you something, it's had no luck. This third horse, outrageous as well. You could make a very good case to say it could have won as well. So a strange result, and I'll be interested to see if this filly can continue on that upward spiral after winning this race. So you'll see this overhead shot with a Hood sort of way in front of the winner there, and then gets stopped in its tracks there, and while the winner's got all the momentum. She dashes through, and you would have thought she was going to go on with the job here, but just had enough in hand, this horse out wide. So a strange result, but good luck to him. Benny Smith, his last 2 runners were Group 1 winners.
Yeah, he sent down in her time in the Galaxy, and he's next brigade in the size.
Zach Purton, a Hood.
Yeah, she burst through like she had the race won and then just seemed to pull up.
Brenton Abdallah, outrageous.
Yeah, he ran terrific. Didn't get a lot of luck. He finishes right there if he gets any.
Karen McAvoy, Longleaf.
He had a nice run. He presented to join in as we approached the furlong. She just levelled out the last bit, so see how he pulls up and maybe press on to the mile.
Tim Clark, Spin.
Yeah, he toughed it out pretty well after covering ground, but probably just the last little bit of the 1400 sees him out.
Ben Schofield, Encryption.
Yeah, look, he ran well. Lovely run on just beyond the speed, and battled it out well late. Good as she could have.
Blake Shin, Not a Single Cent.
Not a single cent, went very well. He was virtually untested in the straight, which is unfortunate. Lovely horse. He'll go to the Champagne and be very hard to beat.
Just a moment ago. 151 with 7. This is the Herald's Australian Derby, 2,400 metres. What could possibly happen here, Darren?
What could possibly go wrong, hey? Ace High back onto a firm track. Outstanding performance last time in defeat. I think he can claim the Victoria ATC Derby here, Ace High. But Furor's run was outstanding. It looks to be a 3-year-old with plenty of upside there. Belfast's run home last time at Rose Hill was something special as well. If he gets the right run, he's a bit of a factor. And Lavendi, but best of the rest. Listen, Greg, chips are low, but it's all in.
Dance number 2, Jason Waddell.
Here's the last start win in the Tulloch Stakes, but I don't think he really needs to. He's a lovely staying type, and he should get a nice run from the gate. Ace High is an absolute clear danger. He's had such a tough run his last.
6 into 5. Furor, $7.50 and $1.50 to $6. Lavendi, further backed, $11 into $7. They're the chief ones. What about with you, Dave?
Okay. Set now, racing. The Lord Mayor jumped a little bit awkwardly. Pissarro gets back, and snagged back from the wide draw is Salsamore and Capital Gain and Condor with the first 2 into stride. Vinda Dance has got a good spot. So's Ace High, and Endowment rolling forward on the outside. In front of Lavendi, main stage caught 3 deep. Weather With You is going to park about 3 back the fence, followed by Astoria, Furor. They're racing tight together. Further back to Mongolian Conqueror in the red cap. A length further back to Mission Hill. Then came Tangled from Pissarro. Mission Hill got on the back heels there at Furor. There's an incident back in the field. The Lord Mayor was severely inconvenienced, and the rider was lucky to stay on board. They head towards the crossing now. Capital Gain at odds leads out by a length to Condor. Vinda Dance in third. Main Stages pushing forward on the outside, followed by the favourite Ace High in the orange jacket on the inside of Endowment. It can't recover from the early check. They work towards the halfway mark. Capital Gain leads. Main Stage sustained that run going to second, and Furore, who's been caught deep, pushing forward. Condor third, just in front of Furore. Vinda Dance back a slot to fifth. Two further back to Ace High. England's got options there for the inside or the outside. Two further back to Weather With You. Then came Endowment. Belfast is covering plenty of ground at the 900 metres, followed by Mongolian Conqueror. Lavendi's a lot further back today. Then came Mission Hill from Astoria. Further back then to Passaro on the fence from Tangled. Mongolian Marshall and Salsamore sees them all. 600 metres to run. Capital Gain, Main Stage, Vinda Dance, Furore, Condor behind them. Ace High's pulling to the outside. Then Weather With You. Mongolian Conqueror looking to slice through the field as they straighten up now. Then came Endowment into the straight. Main Stage in front from Vinda Dance, and Ace High chiming in from Furore, and Lavendi's coming from further back down to the 250. Ace High in front. Lavendi's the big danger. It's Ace High half in front to Lavendi. They're broken clear for a great stoush. Lavendi moves up to Ace High. Ace High won't sit down. Lavendi the outside. Lavendi and Ace High nose and nose battle to the line, and it's a photo. Nothing between Ace High and Lavendi. Many lengths away third to Tangled. Then came Vinda Dance from Main Stage. Further back to Furore, Mongolian Conqueror. Then Condor from Weather With You. Mongolian Marshall. Further back to Endowment. Belfast did it tough from Mission Hill. Then Capital Gain. And some of these have gone for an early shower. Three of them having a rush there. Astoria, Salsamore, Passaro. Actually, you can add the Lord Mayor to the list. He copped a check at the 1800 metres and was never a factor. Righto, photo finish. Here we go again.
It's a photo. Who has got the bob in? Ace High fighting back on the inside of Lavendi. Here's the low shot. Ace High nose down. Lavendi comes back. They hit the line. Lavendi on the outside. Looks as though it might have got up. It could be Lavendi. And it is. On the outside, Lavendi has won the Australian Derby, has defeated Ace High. Peter Gilligotis has trained the Derby winner and denied Ace.
It's going to be the most disheartening feeling ever, or sheer joy. And we didn't know me, and I said him, he said me. I think we're doing a reverse mock, but what a great effort.
Yeah. This horse, he's a marvel.
He's a beauty. He wanted to pull a little bit in parts, but overall I had him switched off good, and then I just waited and waited. I knew Ty's horse would kick strong. You know, he's proven over the trip, and I was just waiting, and then I couldn't get in front of him. But gee, he's got a big heart. Like even last week, you know, he looms up and then was strong late.
And you and Ace High, you paired off many lengths back to the third horse.
Mahogany and Dulcify were the last two to do the double. Ace High was denied by what looks to be a nose, and it is. It's a nose. Here's Lavendi coming back.
Will be outstayed with about 50 metres to go, but he had another dive and got the bob in, and that was a fantastic two-horse war without a doubt. And to think there was that sort of margin between the second and third just shows you how good a contest that was.
So 6-1.
And watch Lavendi and Ace High battle it out to the wire.
Yeah, who would have thought it looked such an even derby on paper to see these horses, just from the two different form lines as well, single out here and to turn into a great contest over the concluding stages. It was a beauty. Ace High, he appreciated being back on a drier track here. Lavendi comes up with him with a better turn of speed, and then the pain barrier with the staying prowess of Ace High kicks back. He's in front a stride before and a stride after the post, but that's a pretty good training performance from the Gilligotis boys, Team Gilligotis, because they've got this horse to peak for his grand finals in spring and in autumn, and they've got a result with the Carbine Club, which was his target at Flemington, and now to win a derby, which was their plan after the spring. They've achieved it. Like I said, the second horse went down fighting. Tangled's did a good job there, 2 good runs in a row. Furore had no luck looking at the replay. He was wide and good.
Can we just go back and have a look at that head-on again, because there was nothing in it.
No.
I don't even think they brushed. The evidence from Mark Zahar in the room was that their boots may have brushed.
Yeah, that's about it. It was just a toe-to-toe.
Ty England, ace high.
Very brave. Had a beautiful run through the race, rolled into it at the right time. Just the horse behind us followed us and got us on the line.
Blake Sim, Main Stage.
Yeah, that was an excellent performance by Main Stage. He was trapped wide in the early stages. He worked to face the breeze outside leader and he stuck on very well.
Brenton Abdallah, Furore.
No, it was a bit of a debacle. Didn't get in. It was basically nearly one off going the first bend, but everything just kept popping out when I was going around, and he did a good job to finish where he did.
IP Boston.
He ran well. He's probably just a little bit weak this time, but he battled on okay.
Craig Williams, Mongolian Marshal.
Yeah, I was really pleased. He only raced.
Glenn Schofield, Astoria.
No luck.
Yes, I know. Yeah.
Where was Waddell?
No, he didn't. Astoria, absolutely no luck, as you heard from Glenn Schofield. If you watch the replay, he was working into it. How far, he would have got, who knows, but he was completely chopped out of it.
All right.
Royal Randwick, the TJ Smith runners are in the yard. Corey Brown is out for the day. There he is. There's the Everest champ. He's the winner of $8.2 million. He'll go to 4th on the all-time earners list, winning this TJ today. Paul and Peter Snowden, Kerrin McEvoy in the saddle.
Look, he lays claim to being the best sprinter in the land, and he gets his chance to rubber stamp it here in a field like track and distance. I think he's going better this year.
Yeah, he's feeling really well. He's dancing all over the place, and that's what you want to see in a horse who's...
fantastic mare who returned with a bang, winning the Galaxy. She's 3 for 3 at this track and distance, and terribly hard to hold out here.
Bigger.
TJ Smith Stakes. Werribee hope to squeeze it in first.
Got her claims.
Definitely a lot stronger this
here, 8 on top in her time. I just feel that her first up win was an absolute beauty there. I know she's got Red Zell to get over the top of here, but all the figures are there for her. All the stats are in his favour here, Red Zell. What you see is what you get. He's going to run a bottler from right on top of the speed. Beware of the ex-Japanese horse Brave Smash here. He's in career best form. And look, beware of the 3-year-old as well, Trapeze Artist. 8, 1, 3 and 12.
Imagine this, Greg. You train your first Group 1 winner. Your next starter in town's a Group 1 winner. You're lining up for your 3rd starter in town over a period of time.
Stand by. Starter about to release the field. Go. Racing now. And the favourite, Red Zell, hopped out of the gates well. Global Glamour, the outside, was fast into stride, and Jungle Edge splitting the pair. Followed by Fell Swoop, handy behind them. Then Take Down. Trapeze Artist out deep with Lure Remain, Brave Smash. Further back to English, and the mission's being taken back together with In Her Time. So In Her Time is going to settle second last. Red Zell leads out narrowly from Jungle Edge and Global Glamour. Then Take Down from Fell Swoop. Trapeze Artist off the track. Then Brave Smash on the inside of the mission. Lure Remain, and the girls are back in the field. In Her Time, and English will have to come around them. Coming to the turn, Red Zell, the favourite, leads out by a half on Jungle Edge. Global Glamour 3rd. Trapeze Artist has been wide. Then Take Down from Fell Swoop. Race Smashers looking for runs. Further back to Lure Remain. English to the outside. In Her Time's in a traffic jam as Red Zell zips away at the 200 from Trapeze Artist, who's sticking on. Trapeze Artist going after Red Zell. Red Zell a neck in front, ahead in front. Trapeze Artist goes past him, and Trapeze Artist takes out the TJ. Big win, Trapeze Artist from Red Zell. And In Her Time, no luck at all in 3rd, followed by Lure Remain, then the mission. Good gap back to the rest. English, Fell Swoop, Brave Smash, Global Glamour, Takedown, and Jungle Edge. Trapeze Artist, Ty England for Gerald Ryan. What a dominant victory.
For the second time in his career, he is a giant killer. Trapeze Artist, he won the Golden Rose at big odds. He wasn't those type of odds today, but he's overcome Red Zell, the Everest champ, the best sprinter in the land, and he's done it with ease. Number 12, Trapeze Artist, Ty England, beaten a nose in the Derby. He tried to win it on protest. He couldn't on Ace High. way, but he gets this one with Trapeze Artist in the TJ.
He's a good colt. He's a very, very good colt. He's run down the best sprinter in the land there. He had good support on track here, and like you said, he is a giant killer when you least expect.
Yeah, Byrne, listen, obviously race before was a bit deflating. We tried on the course, we tried in the room, but it didn't work out. But you go back to last race, the horse performed awesome, and this boy right here, right now, geez, he's incredible. We won the Golden Rose, we dominated that day, and coming up the little rise there and having Red Zell in our sights and be able to pick him up and put him away, geez, it feels good.
Oh, it doesn't. It must indeed.
Just behind those. Now we're getting confirmation that Andrew Atkins is going to ride D'Argento in the Doncaster upcoming. He'll ride at 2 kilos over. Now Corey Brown was given Paul Gerald. He's overcome a big hurdle in Red Zell.
Yeah, he has. Snitzel got the quinella again, eh? But no, he's been a bit of a giant killer, and he's just kept sneaking up on you, and he was super. You know, I wasn't 100% confident a month ago coming back to this race where we sent him to limitless odds for 8 days, and he come back really, really well. And on his work Friday morning, which was quite good for him, and then Tuesday morning was awful for him. I was quite happy going into the race, yeah.
A mile back to 1200 to take on the best sprinters in the land. That can't be easy.
Not easy, but, you know, when Bert wanted Fetting and have a crack at this, I thought, well, I'm going to have to pull on all my expertise and all what I've been taught on how to do it, and it's worked.
What about this horse? You reckon they might be knocking on the door now for the spring?
Yeah, but I think they might be knocking on the door for him to go to stud and not to go to racing. I just hope Bert keeps racing. You know, he's got it's the best horse he's ever had, and it's great for him. I know he'll probably get a lot of dollars for him, but I hope he loves his racing as much as I do, and love to see him race again.
Well, let me just tell you, he's second favourite for the Everest now. I've just been told by Munsey.
Oh, that's good, you know. That's good. That might help. Bert's a punting man, so that might help.
OK, well done.
They had to come up to a Group 1, but it was always great prize money. They hit it with the good prize money from the word go, but it's a great race to win.
Here's Trapeze Artist. Well, he blew them away in the Golden Rose at 40 to 1. He was nowhere near that price yesterday, but he wasn't favourite. He was about $9-10.
He was well tried though in obviously a good race, but boy, geez, he can produce a performance, this horse. I think you described him as a giant killer yesterday. That's exactly the way to describe him. He's a brilliant horse when he's right, and he was certainly on his game yesterday. Look, he's been patchy, like they stretched him up to a mile, and everything's got to be right for him. But when it is right for him, he's a star. He's another one. Do we get to see him again? Is he probably, with it being a Snitzel colt, and he's going to be popular for studs, and does he go on and probably contest an Everest, or does he go to stud in his own right? So we'll just sit on the fence and see about that.
If Gerald gets his way, he'll keep training, because that's what horse trainers want. They don't want...
You know, good... 2 big Group 1 performances on the board. Red Zell was beaten, but not disgraced. I think we'll let the jockey explain in her times with the post-race report what happened there, and I'd agree with him. Other than that, it was a good race.
Well, Global Glamour, she's going out for a spell. English, they thought the track was a little bit too firm for her. She needed a little bit more give in the track. I guess the only thing that I just want to add is that with Trapeze Artist, when he won in the Golden Rose, he was drawn the outside barrier, he sat 3 wide, and it was an amazing win. And the same yesterday, there was no excuses for any other horses. So when he's on song, he's as good as any horse in this country.
One more horse I want to mention out of that race, and I just thought he was a wet tracker. He went really good, much improved race, the Mission in a wet track 2 starts back. He was sensational there, running on very hard late. I'm interested in him next time. He seems to have turned the corner, that horse.
OK. Ride on in her time, and it was only, I think it was, 25 minutes before the race that Damien Lane picks up the ride on in her time.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So let's hear what he had to say and all the other jocks after the TJ.
Karen McAvoy, Red Zell.
Ran a great race. He was gallant in defeat. He travelled nicely throughout and gave his customary kick at the furlong. Unfortunately, Trapeze Artist, who's a smart horse in his own right, just went on by me. But Disappointed to get beat, but he's ran well, my fella.
Damien Lane in her time?
She ran massive, very badly judged ride. We just didn't show enough urgency on her in the early stages and end up in an impossible position. She hit the line really well.
Glyn Schofield, Le Romain?
Yeah, super run.
Zach Perchin, The Mission?
It was a good effort.
Sam Clipperton, English?
Yeah, I think she's just felt the track. The track's gotten a bit firmer as the day's gone on, and
there's reports this morning that trapeze artists will go all aged and then off to stud.
Okay, well,
I think that was on Brisbane radio with Steve Hewlett this morning.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't like it the way these jockeys come in and say ill-judged ride and I slaughtered it. It's no fun anymore. It's up to us to give it to them. We can't give them a bake after this. What can you do? Just put your hands in the air and say, well.
I thought that was very.
4 acres at Penrith.
I remember James Innes coming in one day saying to the owners at Warwick Farm, he said, I think it needs 1,400, and the owners said it was 1,400.
But not as good as Corey Brown's come back to Anthony Cummins one day and he said to Anthony, it's making a noise, and Anthony said, what sort of noise? Hasn't made a noise before. He went, or.
To Pat about that. Now,
Just Brass's numbers. Happy Clapper on top, number 3, 3, 9, 11 and 4. Tony's thoughts on the Star Doncaster. We'll hear from him a little closer to start time. Let's get to Kembla for the...
Concentrating endless drama, but such is not the case. I think Kementari's the P here, drawn well, and I'm sure that Abdullah will want to use the gate. Lanciato's a great roughie to include at 20 to 1. Happy Clapper will run his usual on this race, and Invincible Gem.
Yeah, and under those pre-race earmuffs, the blinkers are back on him today. He's a class horse. He hits this race third up off a Group 2 win. You go back to the Cox Plate when they first put these blinkers on him, and he really stretched winks there that day. So he just needs them to open up at the right time, and he's right as ever. Has a bit of weight, but has the right lead-ups under his belt, and he has the luxury of the inside draw. The Clapper will be there somewhere in the finish for sure.
Look, I think he's
one win over a mile on the board in the Guineas. He's got acceleration, a good weight for age lead up there. Maps well, has to be hard to beat.
Yeah, right.
Listed Bendigo Guineas is next there. Here comes the Star Doncaster Mile, and we're racing for $3 million, $1.74 million for first. You think that might be Happy Clapper Brass? First, you think that might be Happy Clapper Brass? Third Doncaster attempt. Second to Winks in 2016. Second to it somewhat last year.
Yeah, he's been a bit of a bridesmaid, really, hasn't he? But I'll tell you what, he's never been racing in better form, the big fella. He'd arguably...
Gates open, racing, Tosin start and hopped up in the air at the start. He's going to settle last. Mr. Seawolf taken back, and D'Argento as well. Happy Clapper jumped away well. So did Kementari. Beats him though, an Invincible Gem are rolling into forward position. So the two favourites are right there early. Endless Drama prominent, followed by Tom Melbourne going forward. Tom into a forward position on the outside. Then coming through from Prized Icon, Cool Chap. Humidor about midfield, followed by Egg Tart. Then Tosin started and recovered for slow beginnings there. Further back to Crack Me Up, Mr. Seawolf, Lanciato, and D'Argento's back last of all. Tom Melbourne moved around the outside to go and join beats him in the lead. It's on at the 800 metres. Invincible Gem, Happy Clapper with nice runs behind, followed by coming through Kementari, one off the fence. Prized Icon further back with Endless Drama. Then Cool Chap from Humidor, Egg Tart, Tosin starting, Crack Me Up from Lanciato, Mr. Seawolf and D'Argento's last 500 metres to run. Beats him, and Tom Melbourne having an arm wrestle for the lead. Pulling out now is Invincible Gem. Coming through, Happy Clapper back to the inside. Kementari looking for gaps as they come up the rise. Happy Clapper hard up the fence. Happy Clapper joins beats him, and Tom Melbourne coming through. Kementari needs to lift. Happy Clapper the 175, trying to fend them off. Happy Clapper in front and coming through. Beats him. Lanciato late, but Happy Clapper runner up to the last 2 years. It's his day today. Happy Clapper takes out the Doncaster. Beat coming through and beats him. D'Argento flashing home late, followed by Tom Melbourne, Humidor, then Lanciato from Cool Chap, Kementari, Egg Tart next from Crack Me Up, Prized Icon, Endless Drama, Invincible Gem, Mr. Seawolf, Tosin Stardom was last to finish. The
journalists won't have trouble writing this story. He's a popular horse, Happy Clapper, the people's horse. And Pat Webster He's done the Epsom Doncaster double. He hasn't dodged Winks. He's never run away from her. He's run second in 2 Doncasters. But today he claims one and it's all his.
Yeah, and what a ride by Shin. He had the barrier, but he just rode the rail. He got the run at the right time. A dominant win coming through. He's peaked up on the right day up. Hit some leads and fights on, running the race of his life to Gay Waterhouse.
Blake, great work. How does that feel?
That feels amazing, you know. Just wanted Donnie Burney. Watched this race for so many years, growing up, and to finally win it. Woo!
And on the clapper.
And on the people's chant, the clapper.
He's run second in 2 Doncasters. He's run placings in Group 1s. He got that Group 1 in the Epsom and he got one in the Canterbury Stakes. But to win a Doncaster, one of the great races on the Australian turf, could there be a horse more deserving?
No, there's not. Some horses, they say, Winks breaks their hearts, but Winks has toughened this fellow up. She's toughened him up for the big occasion here today, and he is
1:33.13. It's the fastest Doncaster in history. Belmira Lad has held this Doncaster record since 1979 at 1:33.7. He's run 1:33.17. That Belmira Lad was a track record that stood for a long time, but Duff, there you go.
Come tomorrow?
Do you want to come?
Yeah.
You want me to pick you up?
Yeah, pick me up at the gate, RD, I'll be there.
All right, you're on
Humpty
the show.
Dumpty. Chrissy said I look like Humpty Dumpty on the wall. I'll be Humpty Dumpty again.
You know what you look like?
What?
A Group 1 winning trainer.
Oh, it's great, isn't it? Yeah, look, you and I was just talking about Clint and Ray, and everyone's just stuck by me with this horse, and it's just been fantastic. You know, he's just a great horse, isn't he?
You've been part of Randwick for how long now?
It's extra value to the win, doesn't it?
He's held that race record for so long, and to think Happy Clapper broke that race record yesterday is just amazing.
Well, I think he holds the race record in the Epsom now too. So and the Canterbury Stakes and the Doncaster. But tongue in cheek, Chrissy said to me going the race, he's treated Trapper all through his tendons and whatever, and he knows him off by heart. So if he says it's okay for him to run, he'll definitely back up to Queen Elizabeth. The prize money's good there. At the end of the day, he's a gilding, but the welfare of the horse comes first. Yep. And if he's right, he'll be running against the champion mare.
Who's going to ride him?
Kieran McAvoy. A little bit disappointed that Blake's not on him after his association with him, but I rang his manager this morning. He said that he'll be riding Weir's horse and Humidor, and so I got him, so he'll be riding him.
Do you think he's as good at 2,000 metres as he is at a mile?
Oh, no way, Ronnie. You know, I wish it was a mile again next Saturday. Look, you know, have a look at his form.
Tim Clark coming through.
Yeah, ran out of his skin. Can't wait to have a drink now.
Michael Dr beats him.
Yeah, huge run. Look, would have been nicer if I could have had the lead a little bit softer, but obviously Group 1 Doncaster is probably not going to happen. But look, he was very tough and running third. Like on the bend, I didn't think I was going to run that close, but as soon as they pressured him, he's just kicked into gear.
Andrew Atkins, D'Argento.
It was a huge run. We went back from the barrier. So it's going to be a hard task for him, but he done a superior job, and it was a great run to the line. He tried right to the line, so it was a very good run.
Kerry McAvoy, Tom Melbourne.
Yeah, he just didn't settle without cover. He took me on the whole race. He actually done a good job to run as well as he did, to run fifth. So unfortunately, Tom's got away from us again. But look, he's ran well. Yep.
Mark Zara, Humidor.
Look, he ran well. Just sort of wasn't that brave on the inside. Got tightened up a few times. Probably cost him run a place.
Glenn. Brenton Abdallah, Kementari.
Stuff that one up. Feel sick in the gut.
Craig Newitt, Egg Tart.
Yeah, he went okay. I think to win a race like that, she's going to need genuine wet.
Jason.
To them.
Okay, that's Brenton Abdallah was candid, wasn't he?
Happy with himself, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I didn't realise until I got home and looked at the replay, when I looked at the replay a couple of times, he was unlucky. I don't know if he would have won or things like that, but he never got an opportunity to have a crack at him there. And
well, let's just go through the points.
Firstly, coming through, he's run the race of his life. The timing was there. He was given the right run there. Beats him. Well, he was good. He made that time up front, and he looked a beaten horse at the 300, and he had the hide to fight back there at the finish and hold third. I thought the run of the race, again, outside the winner, was the 3-year-old D'Argento. He was terrific. He was negative from the outside draw. He had a lot of work to do, and he hit the line very, very hard. He's an exciting prospect, that horse, and that's not saying Kementari's not, but D'Argento's still not as switched on as a couple of those other 3-year-olds, and when the penny drops with him, he's going to be very, very good.
Just to back...
Clapper's not there. Yeah, would you think about... Now, you're a 1,300 metre track record holder.
Yes. First up in the Everest.
What would you think?
No, I spoke to the owner last night, and we're giving it serious consideration to run him, just give him one trial. Look, he's a really fresh horse. You only got to watch his trials. He always trials great. The prize money's good all the way down. And if I look at them now, looking at that field now, I'd be more than happy to run Clapper in at first up.
Do you reckon there'd be a slot there?
Any of these others who are well in the market. I do like the look of Lover Lover. I thought she looked fantastic, and Harmattan looks like she's here to run a big race. But on...
So we're just waiting.
In this last race here, this has been well supported all week. Harmattan, after going up as much as $5.50 into a shortest now, it's a $2.50 chance, and that's coming off being, I think, $3.10 this morning. Shortest all day. Lover Lover has gone in the opposite direction all day, $3.20 out to $5.50, but still holds second spot in the market and still holds more money today. In fact, 3 times the amount of money today than what Harmattan has on it. Wedgie, the
$51 for the tab. Adrian Knox to wrap up day 1 of the championships is Darren Flindell.
All set. Off and racing now in the Adrian Knox, and Chili Cha-Cha giving a dig in the rib jump well, so to the Promise. Pretty to see poking through on the rails and coming across Wedgie and Missy Beale early stages, followed by Roxanne's. Then One Fire Beach, the favourite midfield. Harmattan on the inside of the second favourite, Lover Lover. They're followed by Jungle Fish, Discreet Charmer. She's a Treasure, and Aina from One Fire Beach. Harmattan, Lover Lover taking closer order at the 900 metres from Jungle Fish, Discreet Charmina, and She's a Treasure just got close to heels there, and is still last 14 off the lead. For 800 metres to run, Wedgie leads by 3/4 to the Promise. Then Pretty to See closing it on the inside of Missy Beale. 2 for the back to Chili Cha-Cha. Roxanne's giving ground now. Lover Lover starts a run around the field from One Fire Beach, and Harmattan trying to ride for luck between them. Coming to the turn, it's Wedgie in front. Turns the corner in front from the Promise. Pretty to See up the fence from Missy Beale. Lover Lover to the outside, and Harmattan's getting a split now, so the favourites get their chances. Wedgie leads at the 300 from Pretty to See. The outside, Lover Lover. Harmattan can't win. Going with them is Chili Cha-Cha. It's Wedgie being tackled by Lover Lover. Pretty to See. Then came Chili Cha-Cha. Harmattan sticks on. Pretty to See. Lover Lover. They're wide apart. Pretty to See in front from Lover Lover wide out. Oh, I think Lover Lover's got there. They're wide apart photo. Lover Lover and Pretty to See. Just in front of Chili Cha-Cha and Harmattan, who just kept fighting on. Further back, She's a Treasure from Jungle Fish, then Wedgie. One Fire Beach, Discreet Charm. Missy Beale, Jungle Fish, The Promise, Aina, and Roxanne's was last to finish.
It's a photo. It looks as though Lover Lover might have lunged on the line to get here to beat Pretty to See. We'll have a look at the lowdown. Grabbing Pretty to See, and it will get there. Chili Cha-Cha lines up in 3rd. So it's 1 Lover Lover, 11 Pretty to See. Chili Cha-Cha
doesn't have 60 kilos and all. She's going to be hard to beat in the Oaks.
Here's Kieran McAvoy.
Well, Kieran, always nice to end the day with a winner, and she had the good form on the board.
Yeah, that's right. She just had a little setback and missed last week's run, but rode it Tuesday, and Sarge and Jamie were happy with her, and so was I. So she put up a good effort there. We were back a bit, but they went an okay tempo. They steadied up mid-race, and I sort of moved into around the corner because I was only following sort of long shots. So I made a longish run on her, but she's done a good job.
Onwards to the Oaks.
Lead up for the Oaks, and John Sargent, he had a setback. As it turns out, it wasn't a major problem. she won. She won the Adrian Knox, but she was due to run in the Vinery. She didn't take a place there, so this is plan B, to go through the Adrian Knox.
Yeah, it was just a little blood count issue, and look, it's well documented. She gave the whole field 7 kilos here, but she just simply outclassed them. It's starting to look like, you know, this Oaks is looking, she's really shaping up well. You've got Unforgotten, and you've got this Kiwi filly coming over here with good raps. So
that's Savvy Cope.
Yeah, they're looking the big 3 there, but narrow, but a fairly dominant win considering the circumstances of giving that whole field 7 kilos.
Yeah, just a question I want to ask.
For that far yet.
Brenton, Abdallah, ANF.
Went as good as I rode today.
Poor Brenton. He won a slipper the other day.
Yeah. Can't have it all the time.
No.
He didn't have a lot of
leaning to it at the moment, although he's a lover.
I said a 3-horse race, and I look at that market again. Aloysia was a terrific performance the other day, and Hyam's a real strong filly. That's a race.
Savvy Cope is the interesting one now because she has been dominant in New Zealand. She's a New Zealand Oaks winner, but we haven't seen her over here yet.
2 for the 3-year-olds, the Arrowfield Sprint and Viridine. Hard to go past Press.
Thought he was, yeah, 3-year-old now, and back against his peers. He took on...
Scratching from Kite and around a week ago, or close to a week ago.
And 7.
Week about Viridine at present, $4.20, and that's out from being a $3 chance this morning. In from a high of 13 to 9. Pariah's been easy, 650 to 950. She will wrap.
And now they're off and racing, and Hootson got it off to a good start. So did Pariah in the centre. So it's Pariah and Hootson vying for the early lead. Booker moving up strongly on the outside. Showtime beaten for a bit of dash. Will park just behind them with Parask going forward, and I'm excited. Well, Pariah jumped well, but it's drifting back through the field now from She Will Reign. The favourite is second last, Viridine, and Catchy being ridden cold at the rear. 800 metres out, and Hootson's got the lead from Booker and Parask the outside. Showtime behind them in 4th. They're followed then by I Am Excited on the inside of Pariah. Further back to She Will Reign. Viridine strung up in traffic with Catchy moving up on the outside of the favourite. Coming to the home turn now, and Hootson full of running. Leads by a half length on Booker and Parask. I'm Excited peeling out. Pariah is next. Catchy to the outside, and Viridine's riding for luck back through the field. He's going to need the gaps to open up. The field really bunches up, and Catchy comes from last. Catchy makes the move to hit the front. 250 out from Showtime. Hootson, I'm Excited. Viridine's all strung up, but Catchy's drawn clear from I'm Excited, Showtime, and Catchy too good. Catchy wins the Arrowfield from Showtime. Then I'm Excited third, followed by She Will Reign Booker. Has Viridine got out yet? Further back to Pariah from Hootson, and Parask was last in.
Darren, the answer is no. Viridine went to the line under a hold from Hugh Bowman and never saw daylight at any stage at all. Catchy sweeping down the outside has won the Arrowfield 3-year-old sprint, racing away from Showtime, and I Am Excited. And Catchy, a former Boom 2-year-old, is back into the winners list. Now, when was the last win? It was 209 days ago at Flemington in the Danehill. Second
3-year-olds, and Catchy did what we knew she was capable of, and the horror story here is Viridine.
Yeah, it was. He got back in the slowly run race. He was travelling well where Catchy's off, and this is how the track played yesterday. This wind got behind them here, these horses out wide, and really brushed them home. Showtime's up the rail. He was good. Look at Viridine there. He's got plenty to offer, I'm sure, but this mare's off and gone. She was always going to be dangerous in a race like this because, you know, she'd beat most of these home in the William Reid before last week where she ran in the PJ Bell, and she wasn't bad there with the big weight. So no fluke in that performance. She was very good, but probably the story of the race. He was easy in the market, Viridine, but look, who knows what would have happened. I suspect he would have won. I just thought he had so much to offer there, and he was going to burst through if he got through there, but obviously it just didn't happen. Look, it's easy to be blaming the jockey, but if you see the overhead here, I don't know what else he could have done. He had no opportunity to get to the outside here. He had Catchy dictating to him out wide. He would have had to check his horse back a length there. There is a room for him in the middle here, which he capitalised. And, you know, 9 times out of 10, something will split there in the middle, and it just did not happen for him. So
they got tighter and tighter, didn't they?
That's right. They did. So It's easy to blame the jockey, and you know we all do after the race. Oh, what was Bowman doing there? But look, what did you want him to do? What do you want him to do? It's one of those things. Well,
nothing took him into the race.
Yeah, nothing. It just didn't happen. It just did not happen, unfortunately.
Respect for the New Zealander, the New Zealand Oaks winner, Savvy Cope. Be watching out for her. And of the rest, well, Unforgotten. We'll be giving away a bit of a start, I would imagine. But
$19. Ararat confirmed going on Sky Race
today, and your punting volume. There's been no real significant move, although as I speak now, 550 Aloysius. So the Firma Late has been number one.
Kiwis have won.
Ready now, off and racing. Chili Cha-Cha in the centre, jumped out well. So did Contessa Vanessa. Hyam will take a prominent role, and She's a Treasure's right up behind them. So they're the four leaders. Dance, Dance, Dance being restrained. Savvy Cope going right up the fence. Bring Me Roses deeper out, looking for a spot on the outside of Navasha. And Unforgotten's about midfield and on the fence. Right behind is Wild Sea. Now Lover's caught a bit deep early. Aloysius going down to the fence. So Lover can get him one off. And Miss Admiration's the last one. So Michael D's able to make the running on Hayam. Been able to lead easily at the 1,800 lengths from first to last. They go to the 1,400, and Hayam trying to make all. Repeat the effort of the Vinery Stud Stakes. It's Hayam 2 lengths in front of Chili Cha-Cha second, then Contessa Vanessa. A length further back to She's a Treasure. The pace is very strong up front. Savvy Coper's next in the red hat. 2 further back to Dance, Dance, Dance. Then come Unforgotten. Further back to Bring Me Roses. 2.5 off to Navasha from Wild Sea. Lover's third last from Aloysia. And Miss Admiration's last, about 14 lengths from first to last. And Hayam making it a real staying test of the 900 is 2.5 lengths clear from Chili Cha-Cha. 3 off to Contessa Vanessa. Then She's a Treasure. Further back to Savvy Cope. No change to the order from Dance, Dance, Dance. They're followed then by Unforgotten, just being felt for coming to the turn. Where Bring Me Roses the outside. And still 3 further back to Lover. Hayam is full of running at the 500 metres. Now Michael D tries to go for home. She's 3 lengths clear from Chili Cha-Cha. Then Contessa Vanessa. Savvy Cope going up the fence. Unforgotten pulling to the outside. 5 off, but she's letting rip with a big run now. Hayam down to the 250. A length and a half clear. Unforgotten is throwing out the lasso, and Unforgotten moves up to Hayam. They're broken clear, but Unforgotten gets the other hand now and starts to edge away. And it's a favourites victory in the Australian Oaks. Unforgotten by a length to Hayam. Miss Admiration third, followed by Bring Me Roses. Then came Savvy Cope from Dance, 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 Aloysia. They put a good space in the rest. Chili Cha-Cha, Lover, never at the races today. From She's a Treasure, Contessa Vanessa, Wild Sea, and Navasha was last to finish.
In 37 minutes' time, he's going to be back to be riding the... Huey Bowman has won his 5th Australian Oaks on Unforgotten, reeling in the leader, Hayam, and wins by a length. Huey Bowman wins 5, and Chris Waller repeats what he did with Royal Descent a few years ago.
She's a good filly. She's a very, very good... Could be a Caulfield Cup filly. She just relaxed the first half of the race, chimed in, got into emotion there and beat her.
But this girl, she's very talented, Hugh.
Yeah, she is. And look, she's been a funny mare. Hadn't had a lot to do with her in this prep. The team said she's our Oaks filly. And after trials, I wasn't convinced, and after a first up run, I still wasn't convinced. But from then on, once she's got to a distance that's suitable, they know what they're talking about, the Chris Waller stable, and she's a lovely filly. And the slight concern was a run.
Always confident you were going to pick her up?
I was, to be honest. I'd had such a lovely run in transit, and I worked on Tuesday morning, so I knew what she was capable of, and I knew from the 400 that I had high aim covered, but I wasn't to know what was coming from behind me. But it would have been a monumental effort to come from behind me and run her down, because she was superb the last 400-500 metres today.
All right, you're waiting for your...
Ever run. Serenade Rose held the record at 2:28.8. We're talking about a serious filly in Serenade Rose back in 2006. So Unforgotten, set up by that very good pace by Hayam, has run a race record. We saw
He's a shining star, and I think today's just, a sample of a bit more to come. Yeah, she's a very good horse.
When did you think you had an Oaks filly?
When did she start? Probably about December, January, and then it all went pear-shaped with her first up run. So we stuck to the plan, and good to see her bounce back so quickly with a second up win. And you could see last start it was a very, very good run, and can't wait for next year with her.
Really. Fastest and unforgotten. Are we looking at another special girl?
Very special. I'm convinced she's a special filly. She's got quality. She's outstanding. She's always shown it. Just a little worrying signs of the first run back and a couple of trials, but this filly's got a huge future. She could go all the way. She's run as fast a time as we've ever seen in this Oaks by panels, by 10 lengths. High Arm was so good. One brave filly with her racing style there. Miss Admiration is a surprise packet there. Mick Price second and third. Other observations, I'd suggest we'll never see Aloysia in a mile and a half ever again. I think she'll be trained as a sprinter miler.
I believe she could be going to the Oaks in Adelaide, the 2,000 metre Oaks.
That'd be more her go, I'd say. But she's had a couple of goes at the mile and a half now, and she just hasn't worked for her. She
just gets too far out of her ground in those types of races. Just on Hyam, the wind played a big factor, but she doesn't settle either. That's just one thing that doesn't play into her hands. If she was to settle, she would be able to run out a much stronger 2400, I feel. Lover was disappointing. She didn't back up from the previous week. Well, she had a setback, raced really well, but that 7 kilos, having a setback, that can really tell on the preparation.
Just the I'll see today. It's the each way play to beat our Mandan, loft up on the speed, and the way Who Shot the Barman went the other day, surely this will be his last Sydney Cup appearance, and who knows, he may well go to win a bit. All three each way.
OK, this last runner of this field, he put his autumn form down on the table in the Tancred Stakes. He's well treated here with 57, and it's going to take a good, tough 2-miler to win this race, and he's definitely that.
He's the favourite.
On the inside. Normandy led with the barrier blanket on.
Here for the Schweppes Sydney Cup. $2 million purse nowadays, $1.16 million for the winner. Our Mandan, 370 to 390 the favourite. Aloft, also raced by Team Williams.
It's a break. Our Mandan the favourite, and the big field offhand racing. Well, 5 to Midnight's jumped out pretty well. Showing a bit of speed as well was all Mito in a prominent position in the early stages from Ventura Storm, Sis Montaigne. 5 to Midnight's caught out deep, and going up the inside is Lord Fandango in the early stages. From Aloft, who settles about 6th, and Sir Charles Road Perrip Centre. Admiral Jello's cast out very deep. Now Mandan in the white cap is just behind them on the outside of Orvray. They're followed then by Lasquetti Spirit. From Who Shot the Barman, Zacata Librana. Then came Patrick Erin, and back to last position is Ducan as they head down the straight now. And Sis Montaigne presses centre. This overseas import is now putting serious pressure on as he goes forward at the crossing with the intent to take the lead by the looks of it. They're followed further back by Sir Charles. Sir Charles back on the inside, Sir Charles Road, followed by Admiral Jello, who's been caught deep most of the way. They're followed then by after 2 lengths to Ventura Storm from Orvray and Lasquetti Spirit. Then came Zacata, who's racing back on the inside at this point. Further back then to Mito from Libran, Who Shot the Barman, Patrick Erin, and Ducan is the last one. So they race up towards the 1,200 metres, and Perripson, who did plenty of work to get to the front, shows out from Sis Montaigne, and Lord Fandango holds 3rd spot. Aloft in 4th, followed by Admiral Jello, then Sir Charles Road, 5 to Midnight. Lasquetti Spirit, well, it's taken her long enough to get going. She does that now at the 900 metres. She's normally a lot closer than this. Further back then to Olmito as the field bunches a bit. Ventura Storm tries to get going. Now Mandan pulls wide from Libran Orvray. Further back to Zacata, Who Shot the Barman, then Ducan, and Patrick Aaron's last. The field really starting to bunch. Peripson's had enough of the 600 and Lord Fandango goes through on the fence. From Admiral Jello and Lasquetti Spirit, they really start to turn it up now, coming to the turn. Pulling out back to the inside. Sir Charles Road pinching plenty of ground. Auvray tracking up, so Cicada. And Who Shot the Barman and Patrick Aaron to the outside. Up the rise, Sir Charles Road takes the lead from Cicada. Here's the 9-year-old Who Shot the Barman. Is it his day today? Auvray next, and then came Patrick Aaron. It's Cicada, Sir Charles Road. Who Shot the Barman wide out. It's Cicada in front from Who Shot the Barman. Cicada, Who Shot the Barman. Auvray late. They're wide apart. They hit the line. It's a photo in the Sydney Cup. Cicada and Who Shot the Barman. Photo third, Auvray and Sir Charles Road. Then Lasquetti Spirit, Patrick Aaron. Further back to Dukan closing off. Then came 5 to Midnight from a mountain who couldn't get into it today. Admiral Jello, Ventura Storm. Further back to Libran, Lord Fandango, Ormido, Peripson and Cis Montaigne.
No idea here. Cicada on the inside, or Who Shot the Barman on the outside, or Who Shot the Barman on the outside. Could the Barman have done it at his 5th go in a Sydney Cup? Could he have done it? Now there's Cicada. Here's the Barman's nose coming into frame. This will tell us. This will be accurate. Yes! Could be a dead heater. It could be the outside. Who Shot the Barman?
I'm thinking that this is a better shot. This is a better shot.
He's done it. Yes. I reckon the Barman's got it.
Oh, that's close.
We're waiting on the photo. Photo shows Who Shot the Barman. Well, I reckon Chris Waller.
It was a beauty.
And he fell in this race last year.
Incredible horse.
What a comeback. Here is the winning rider, Blake.
If there's ever a horse that deserves to win a Sydney Cup, beaten narrowly in the last 2. 9 years old, Bernie. Got a great group of owners that follow him around every year. And this is for them. This is for the horse. Credit to Chris Waller and his team. Getting backing up every year, and means a lot to me to be able to do it for those.
The Sydney Cup now. Who Shot the Barman, a 9-year-old winning the Group 1 Sydney Cup. Trying to find... I haven't got the list and how many older horses, perhaps older than 9, that have won Group 1s. Ray Thomas suggested it might have been Magistrate who won a Perth Cup in the early 80s. There might have been 10.
Yeah.
And there might have been another. Look, there could be a couple. That would be all.
This is the only one I remember.
Yeah, look, I'm sure there'll be heaps of them, but I can't recall any.
No.
But what a marvellous horse. He won the Auckland Cup in 2014. He ran 3rd in the Melbourne Cup that year. He ran 2nd in the Sydney Cup in 2015, 4th in the Sydney Cup in 2016, 5th in the Melbourne Cup in 2016, 2nd in the Sydney Cup in 2017, and here he is winning it in 2018. What an iron horse! And
how many cups is that he's run?
Oh, look, I just jotted a few down. There's more.
There's more. Well, he won an Auckland Cup. He won. Did you mention he won an Auckland Cup?
Yes, that was the start of it, and then he came over to Chris. So look, I think he's running 9. I think he's had 9 runs at 2 mile.
9 2-milers. Yeah, well, yes, in the book.
Yeah, so they're his 2-mile runs, and it's a credit to him the way he peaks up. And they're proper 2-mile races, Melbourne Cup, Sydney Cup.
Yeah.
So incredible. Look, of the others, what do you want to say? He's run the race of his life there, the Kiwis, the Carter. And so Sir Charles Road, they had form around each other in New Zealand, probably out of an Auckland Cup. So the Kiwis were strong there. I want to make special mention of Lasquetti's Spirit there. It was a pretty quick cup.
Ridden upside down.
200 to 1, everyone was saying, oh, yeah, shouldn't be in the race, you know.
Yeah.
How good has she gone? You know, she's run 5th and run the race of her life.
Yeah. Much better.
Our Mandan 2 out of 5 lame as well.
OK, are we going to take anything to add? We've done now?
Oh, really? I'm really liking the way they've put more money into this Sydney Cup.
Yeah.
I think it's taken a couple of years, but it's going to get better and better.
Yeah. And
thought the run on the CF4 stakes there was outstanding and represents very good value here. Silence Edition, a winning chance. Spanish Reef is flying and can go forward. And at number 14, Samavera, I think, has got a genuine place claim. So I thought...
It's funny, when we asked him what he'd do with the million, he started off by saying, look, I'll pay some debts and I'll invest and whatnot. But
well, you can watch it for free nowadays on the Tab app, of course. Let's have a look at what's happening for you on track for the fourth and final Group 1, the Coolmore Legacy for the girls. Spanish Reef is pretty popular. It's gone bang, bang, bang. 3 starts this preparation for 3 wins. 7 into 5, now back to $5.50 on course. Silence Edition, $6.50 and a half point to $6. Dixie Blossoms, 5 out to $6.50. Elise, the 3-year-old, is $8.50 into 8, back to $8.50. Prompt Response, $9.50 to 13, but back to $12.
Magician, he selected Dixie Blossoms here as his selection to win $1 million in the Coolmore Legacy, courtesy of tab.com.au. Elise is on to the...
Pretty good line out. Prompt Response was the first into stride. Silence Edition put right up on the speed. Spanish Reef and Daisy Doom are out deep at rolling forward. Eckstein Zambar behind them with Oregon's Day, Aid Memoir. Abby Marie, Dixie Blossoms very deep at pushing forward. Further back in the white jacket is Payroll, followed then by Heavens Above as they find their positions. Well back in the field is Elise Samavera in front of it. Then came Fox Play third last from Natoya, and Perfect Rhyme is last of all. So Spanish Reef rolls to the front, and Daisy Doom from the outside draw got across to keep it company. Prompt Response and Silent Edition take cover. Aid Memoirs going forward on the outside. Dixie Blossoms caught 3 deep but getting cover now. They're followed by Eckstein on the rails on the inside of Abby Marie. Then Oregon's Day 3 out. Further back to Payroll. Heavens Above. Zambar off the track. Further back to Fox Play. Samavera, the filly Elise is third last but trying to improve. From Natoya and Perfect Rhyme is the last one. Spanish Reef leads at the 500 metres from Daisy Doom and Aid Memoir. Then Prompt Response. Silence Edition tucked away between them. Further back to Dixie Blossoms. Eckstein and Abby Marie heads the rest into the straight. Spanish Reef comes off the fence. Prompt Response goes through. Running on now is Silence Edition on the outside of Daisy Doom. Then Dixie Blossoms, Oregon's Day and Eckstein up the fence. Prompt Response takes the lead, 150 out. Here's Elise coming down the outside. Elise going after Prompt Response, and Elise, the filly, goes on to win it. Elise beats Prompt Response. Heavens Above grabbed third in front of Oregon's Day and Abby Marie. Then Dixie Blossoms, Natoya, Fox Play. Eckstein was next. Further back to Daisy Doom from Payroll, Spanish Reef, Zambar, Samavera, Perfect Rhyme, Aid Memoir, and Silence Edition pulled up pretty quickly.
Elise back into the winners list with a Group 1, and that customary turn of foot was back again today at a mile, back from 2,000 metres. Glenn Schofield and James Cummings win the 4th Group 1 of the day and break that stranglehold that was. Old filly, $8.70 and $3, wins the Coolmore Legacy.
Oh, what a brute she is. What a brute. She just goes so well for Glenn. He gets back on her, he presents her, and she has got a lethal sprint, and she put him away, winning by a big margin from the very, very brave Prompt Response. Heavens Above was coming through there and got held up for a stride or two. Should have maybe finished second there, but look at this big girl. She's had 2 runs at this Randwick Mile, and there have been 2 big Group 1 wins.
Yeah, a flight and now a Coolmore Legacy, and Glenn Schofield, as Duff pointed out, gets on so well with Elise. Here he is.
Yes, a big girl, and for a big race. She's well suited, and she must be your favourite about now.
Oh, she's a special girl, this. In the spring, she was really dominant as to do this now, fantastic. You know, James has had this race in mind for a long time, and all credit to him and the Godolphin team. You know, they've presented her in great order today. She found that really strong turn of speed that was lacking at the beginning of her prep. But you can see how big she is. I think she just takes a bit of racing to get really race fit. And was impressive today.
Like a prime.
Lizzie tipped this one. Lizzie found Elise. beating Prompt Response, and your old friend here, Heavens Above.
Yeah, she was all right.
She was good.
Yeah. But the winner was awesome. Look at her, the big brute of a thing there. She monsters them late here. She's travelling. Geez, he gets on with her well, doesn't he, Glenn? He knows her. He knows how to ride her. She's had a couple of runs at the Ramwick Mile now for a Flight Stakes win, and here she is, you know, beating the older mares in the Kilmore Legacy. Wow, the sky's the limit for a filly like her. What could she do? Could she win an Epsom? Could she win a Maya Classic? Yes. Why couldn't she? A total domination over some very, very good mares. What do you want to say here? I thought Prompt Response was very brave. She's had a terrific preparation. Heavens Above ran to her best form here. She's got held up. You could make a little case that she could have run second there. Oregon's Day's been fantastic all preparation. Spanish Reese was very heavily backed, seemed to have a chance, but disappointed there. But look at this overhead shot here. Look at her just getting right over the top of a blade. She's pretty good.
Yeah, well, it was like a carbon copy of the Flight Stakes. You knew when she was just camped in behind them, relaxed and switched off, and the way how she just eased out under a hold. You knew she would pick them up, but to do that to that type of field, I thought was extremely impressive. And she is a horse that, when she's right, she's unbeatable.
OK, we keep bringing this up. I heard
to James Cummings.
She's just about the best three-year-old in the country. I think her turn of foot is hard to match when she gets a dry track like this. And look, we just had her fully wound up and absolutely ready to peak on the grand final. So look, we're all over the moon.
You would have been confident coming into this, coming back to a mile.
Oh, she has a great record over a mile. She loves it nice and firm like this. But she was fully wound up for grand final today. You could see how excited I was first up, and she won a Group 2 there. But look, I think she's one of the best fillies in the country. Her brother Astern was one of the best colts when he was racing at 3, and we've got a Brazen Bow little brother coming through the stables who we're excited about. He's a beauty, and you know, when you come into the races with horses out of these sort of families for His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, it certainly gives you a little bit of confidence going in.
Oh, she's a special.
Concurred a suspension on Daisy Doom, and Silent Sedition actually pulled up 2 out of 5 lame, so there's a vet certificate required for her.
Natoya was very good there again. There's some race in. I don't know what she's going to win, but she's going to win a nice race somewhere.
OK, we're going to take a break.
So I'm happy to just go around and based on this level of competition.
There goes Winks. I think you've said enough, haven't you, Duff and Lizzie?
Yeah, I think she can do the talking from now on.
Yep, I think we'll leave it all up to her.
And a real roughy consensus for Steve McKean, Jason Cobb.
Pressure's off.
He's never been going better, though, has he?
No, he hasn't, and he just loves this place, you know, and
he's doing OK, boss?
Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, it's good to be able to catch up with people like Peter Moody and just sharing a couple of laughs with the owners, and at the same time respecting there's a big job about to unfold for the horse, Huey. Our job's done, and it was a relief this morning just getting here so track it's as smooth as it's been getting here.
Isn't it amazing? In 5 years, Peter Moody's gone from training one to win 25 straight, and now he's interviewing you, about to try and do the same.
Look out, I might be after your job.
It's yours. Good luck. Go and enjoy it.
Thanks very much.
Thanks, Chris.
Winks on top. 9142 our numbers. So
turn that form right around. 9, 1, 4 and 3.
Well, there she is. Can she make it 25 wins in a row today in the Queen Elizabeth? Can't remember the last time she was this price. $1.22. Now for Winks, that tote price there across the country, 130, 130, 130. Well, you can only go 130, then you go...
Which has been 10 out to 14. Look, it is all about Winks, and as Brass said before, just reiterating, it's very special that we get to sit here and talk about such an amazing animal.
$4 million up for grabs here, and a piece of history out to walk up. $4 million up for grabs here, and a piece of history for the mighty mare. Queen Elizabeth, sponsored by Longines. Here's history, Darren Flindell.
And Winks moves in. They close the gate behind, and this is it. The Longines Queen Elizabeth Stakes, and they're off and racing. And a good line out. Galo's Shop in particular with Classic Uniform and Consensus showing speed. Winks is back last. In the early stages, Galo's Shop presses on with Classic Uniform, Consensus, and coming through right there on the fence. Odeon pushing forward a bit deep, followed by Ambitious. A couple further back to Success Days. Then Happy Clapper from Humidor. And Winks is back last. They go past the mile crossing. And Galo's Shop, as expected, makes the running from Odeon. Consensus leaders back third at the 1400 and Classic Uniform fourth. Two further back to coming through. Then the Japanese import Ambitious. Further back to Humidor, sliding through on the rails on the inside of Success Days, the horse from Ireland. Two further back to last Saturday's Doncaster winner, Happy Clapper. And the champ, Winks, is last of all, and about 8 lengths off the lead, which is Galo's Shop, a real 2,000 metre specialist. Galo's Shop leads at the 1,000 by a length on Odeon. Consensus tucked away third, then Classic Uniform further back to coming through. Now starting a bit of a run here is Williams on Ambitious. He's making the move a fair way out, and he sends the stallion forward, Ambitious, around the outside of the field. Then coming through Success Days, Humidor shuffle back a bit. Happy Clapper and Winks, they're both back last as they go to the 600 metre mark. Galo's Shop leads narrowly from Classic Uniform the outside, and Ambitious striding up on the outside. They're followed just behind them then to Odeon from Success Days coming through. Consensus, Winks getting to the outside. Humidor the inside of her. Happy Clapper needs luck as they straighten up. Galo's Shop tries to kick. 3 lengths clear, but Winks is getting into her work, and they're broken clear from the rest. Galo's Shop in front, but Winks moves up on the outside. Winks takes the lead from Galo's Shop, and here's a second Queen Elizabeth. This is a silver jubilee moment on the throne for 25 consecutive wins to equal the record of the Great Black Caviar. Wins it easily. Galo's Shop held second, Happy Clapper third. Humidor got going late for fourth, then came coming through. Good gap back to Consensus from Odeon. Classic Uniform. Ambitious couldn't sustain the run, and Success Days last.
They stand together for a moment in time, 25 each. Winks joins Black Caviar. Just for a moment, Duff, they're together in the history books.
Wow, what a moment. A few people very nervous about her today. But what were we worried about? 530 kilos of solid pure gold there. She is an absolute gem and demoralises a tip-top field. Wow, what can you say?
The Winks flag being raised here at Royal Randwick. There were flags everywhere. They knew it was going to be on again.
What can I say? It always concerns me being on firm tracks, spotting good horses a dozen or more lengths from the 1,000. But she's just an exceptional athlete, and she creates so much attention, and I'm just so elated. I'm so proud of her, so proud to be a part of it. And what can I say? Bernie, I'm lost for words.
Indeed. Equals Black Caviar's record, 25 obviously straight, 18 Group 1s now. I'm curious, at what point in the early stages of the career did you think maybe she's going to be as good as something like Black Caviar?
Look, you don't imagine that, Bernie. I mean, you've been around racing long enough. You don't dare to dream that big. It's just developed, you know, and it's like a relationship. It's developed, and she's just continued to blossom under Chris Waller's management and his team, and Ollie Coolman, her spelling place. There's so many cogs to the wheel.
Now, and she'll make this parade down the home straight. Every bit of Royal Randwick is going to soak this in. They're standing here and they're applauding a champion. She could go round again, Duff.
Oh, isn't that just great, just hearing the reaction she gets from a crowd. I just love that, and just sit back and listen to it.
I know the owners are waiting to lead her back in. We'll get to Chris Waller in a moment.
She
run 10.84 for one section down the straight there. That's when she put them away. We haven't seen that all day. So she runs sprinters sectionals in staying races. It's just uncanny what she can do to get herself out of trouble and just go from nowhere to putting the race beyond doubt.
Lizzie, who have you got?
I've got Deb. This is the most amazing day for racing. I'm doing a Chris Waller now.
Mate, you've held it together for 25 starts, or 24. You're allowed to go one day.
This is just the best. This is the best feeling. The best horse in the world, ridden by the best jockey in the world, trained by the best trainer in the world. We just can't get it any better than that for racing.
Why is today special? Is it because of that milestone that he joined another great champion that we love so much?
It is. I mean, we admired Black Caviar as much as everyone else, so there weren't too many more records to break today, and she's taken them all before her, and
it was very special. The emotions that go through a punter's mind, a jockey or an owner's mind, a trainer's mind, a partner of a trainer and a jockey, you name it. Probably everybody on this race course sitting back there. So she has to be pretty special to win the way she does, and she just won with a bit of arrogance again. She just keeps lifting to those big occasions.
What were you thinking today when she's back last and she's meeting arguably the best field she's met in a long time?
I knew we'd be right, but I just didn't want something taking off at the 1,000-metre mark, or so that we'd lose sight of the leader, which didn't happen, thankfully, and the pressure went on, but that just played into her hands. She's a very dominant horse under pressure. And it's only that pressure scenario to see the best from her.
Do you want a fourth Cox Plate?
Don't need anything more than what we've already had. I just want the horse to be respected for who she is, and just follow the decisions we make, and you'll see her in the spring, there's no doubting that. But we won't put her under any pressure to get to any certain race. She'll just be there, and we'll give you a rough idea where we're heading, and that could change as it does with any sports. When you need to make changes, you make changes. The horse comes first, so we'll try.
Chop, he comes out to the centre of the track for a fleeting moment. Maybe she was in trouble, but she put them away.
Yeah, this has to be one of her better wins. There's just not much left to say about her, but she's just thumped some absolute stars behind her. Galo Chop, Happy Clapper, Humidor, and has beaten them easily, running away. She's just a star. She's the best there is at the moment. I'd be staggered if there's a horse in the world that could beat her, and just another outstanding chapter in her book.
Yeah, surely they've got to come to Australia and take her on in the Cox Plate if they want to be crowned the world's best racehorse. Happy Clapper, Longines rated, I think, the 4th best racehorse at the most recent rankings. So for her to put a dent in him like that yet again, certainly puts her in an element on her own. Let's have a look at the Cox Plate market now, which, of course, hopefully will see the champion mare shoot for a 4th Cox Plate, and she's $1.70 all the rage with Crown Bet. Humidor, who no doubt...
much to people.
It certainly does, and we need a champion to come along every 15 to 20 years just to bring the younger interest back into racing. And we've been... Look, it's not a day probably to compare champions. We don't have to do that in the past, even though she matched that magic 25 yesterday with Black Caviar, but just the moment and how lucky we are to have 2 champions so close together in our lifetime. It's just amazing.
Back-to-back champ, and the people's reaction. What's going through your mind when you're watching that?
Oh, my golly. Yeah. It's hard to watch. I don't mean it's hard as in it. I just mean it just touches your heart. It brings me to tears most of the time. She's just wonderful. And to have people adore her. We adore her, but we adore most of our horses. You know, they've all got their special little things, but she just has something super special. And to have kids waving flags and people are there to see her, and to see all the other races as well is good. because that shows them that it's not just one horse, it's not just one race.
Wings getting to the outside, Humidor the inside of her. Happy Clapper needs luck as they straighten up. Galo Shop tries to kick, 3 lengths clear, but Winks is getting into her work, and they're broken clear from the rest. Galo Shop in front, but Winks moves up on the outside. Winks takes the lead from Galo Shop, and here's a second Queen Elizabeth. This is a silver jubilee moment on the throne for 25 consecutive wins to equal the record of the Great Black Caviar. Wins it easily. Galo Shop held second, Happy Clapper third. Humidor got going late.
Wins it easily. How many times you watched that last night?
Only the once. I've seen the ending a few times, but to watch her again from the beginning is pretty exciting.
Even now, Sunday morning, it affects you like that?
Yeah, it does.
Really?
The Queen Elizabeth is a pinnacle race in Sydney, and that was a great field. And the form analysts had her. Everybody was saying she was going to win, but the form analysts had her at a query. And so it was just nice to see Hugh settle her. But look, watching her come home like that, it just sends tingles down your spine.
Let's go and 1,200 to 2 mile. That's
her. That's her champion quality, and the way that she can pull a sectional out in a staying race of our best sprinter. You know, like she can run our champion sprinter's sectional for 200 metres just to put a field away at the right time. She's so special in...
What did she hit yesterday, Lizzie? Was it 10.84? She hit yesterday, Lizzie? Was it 10.84?
Yes. It's her ability to sit anywhere in the run, off a slow tempo, off a fast tempo, and be able to reel off the exact same sectionals in any situation to get her out of trouble. That's what makes her so special, is that she can sprint off of any type of tempo. A slow one, horses they usually can't catch horses like that lead out in front. She's able to do that, and she's able to reel off those sectionals, and that's what makes her phenomenal.
Is there one win equalling Black Caviar's record? Does that mean something for you?
Look, it'd have to mean something to everybody, but to me, Black Caviar's record stands alone because she won 25 times in a row but never was beaten. So that is a record that will never change unless someone is lucky enough to get a horse that does the same thing.
Exactly.
Winks has equalled it in a streak. That is very exciting. And to think, because I adored Black Caviar. I watched all her races. I wasn't lucky enough to be at all her races, but I was there, and I was there at Ascot when she...
Years since Black Caviar created that stunning run of 25 unbeaten starts. I know things have to come to an end, but I hope today wasn't the last that we'll see of the wonder of Winks. She was imperious again today against 3, what I think, outstanding weight for age horses in great form. It was another brilliant performance and really a crowning jewel on her run of 25 wins.
I've also got Nick, as a student of history, Chris, and I know you love talking about the greats of racing, to equal Black Caviar's winning sequence, to now be thought of in terms of some of the all-time legends in the history of Australian racing, what does that mean to you personally?
Personally, it would be just something that I can retire and have a bigger smile on my face and talk to people that will talk about Winks for a long time beyond me, beyond you guys. She's just a generation horse that people around my age will just never forget. So whether it be Black Caviar, Maccabi Diva, whoever your fan or on the racing track is, Winks is one of them.
Chris, Nick here.
Chris Waller touched on the high pressure in the mid stages, didn't he, Nick? That just allows her to do her thing. When it's a genuinely run race, it just makes things even easier for her in a sense, in the set that the faster they go, probably the more she wins by, because she can just sustain her run for longer than the opposition, can't she?
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately for them, if they go slow, she's usually got the biggest turn of foot as well. That's what makes her virtually unbeatable in these races. But here you can see her flying running down the outside. Happy Clap had to switch back to the inside. He was a tad unlucky. It wouldn't have made a difference to the result, though. She was simply too good. Humidor from the tail of the field. He ran home well, but it's a different gravy today with her.
Yeah, this track played.
The amazing thing about what we've seen with Winks throughout her career, but we also saw it with Black Caviar and Peter Moody. We saw it with Makybe Diva and Lee Freeman. You just see this plan come to fruition each and every campaign. Now, with Winks, there was a discussion about whether or not she'd go over to overseas at the start of this campaign, but Chris elected to go first up after Hugh Bowman was on the sidelines through injury, into the Chipping Norton at 1,600 metres, then into the George Ryder at 1,500 metres, and, of course, then with the grand final, 2,000 metres for the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
Well, it's interesting because it's been a shorter, more truncated campaign this time to the Queen Elizabeth than previous, and as you said, what happened to Hugh contributed in Happy Clapper running behind her. But you can see her here first up in the Chipping Norton, and Prized Icon, who's a Group 1 winner as a 2 and a 3-year-old, but not quite up to some of the other better weight for age horses. And she came away, and the margin this day was 7 lengths. I had her running to about 127, 128 in that.
So that's just short of her peak?
It is. Her peak runs in a Cox Plate, a previous lead-up race where she beat Hartnell very easily in a George Ryder last year were 132 her peak ratings. But for a first-up performance, that was a really compelling indication that she had returned as an older mare this year as good as she's ever been.
Then we went to the George Ryder where she won. It's a remarkable thing about Winks. Her lead-up runs, she's producing marks that no other horse in racing at the moment can get near, and yet it's nowhere near her peak performance.
Well, she's so dominant, and we've had this discussion in the past, Shane. When you've got a horse like Makybe Diva, a horse like Black Caviar, Sunline when she was at her very best, and now Winks. When you are the best equine athlete in Australia, in the Southern Hemisphere, or in the world, and you're running against horses that you're just simply better than, plus you're getting a 2 kilo allowance for being a mare, it makes you almost unbeatable. So she's beating these horses place on the world stage as far as ratings are concerned. There have been less than a handful of horses in the last 15 years on the planet who have rated better than Winks. So whether she is the best of the decade in the world over the last decade or not, she's certainly one of the handful of the very best equine athletes we've seen on the planet in that time.
Got a lot more to come.
Mile and a quarter horse, but he ran in her second Cox Plate and ran 4th. But what I like to say is I haven't seen any better than Winks. She's been as good as I have seen in the last 15 years in Australia. And again, when you compare her with the best mares in the world over the last 15 years, Black Caviar and Winks stand head and shoulder above any other female equine athlete, and that includes Trev, who won two arcs, won by 5 lengths, Dane Dream, who won by an arc by 5 lengths, Goldakova, Zenyatta, who won 18, 20 races in a row in America. These 2 mares are the best females to race in the modern era, not just in Australia but in the world. We're seeing vision here of Makybe Diva. There'll never be, for me, a horse I don't think that can possibly win 3 Group 1 Melbourne Cups or 3 Melbourne Cups again. Maybe the handicapper didn't give her enough weight, Shane, but she carried 58. And again, she beat a field of international horses. So they're all great champions. I don't think any...
They're in the yard for the first of our 2 Group 1s today, the Mowat and Chandon Champagne Stakes over a mile. And before we get
on third in the Sires Produce, not a great deal of luck there, so happy to go with him on top. Happy to hear that Not a Single Cent will be ridden in a more forward role. I thought he was the principal danger. Then a couple at odds, Acadian and Racket Rascal. Racing, Blazing Issue, just missed the start a little bit, and Seabrook is taken back. Bondi and Longleaf along with Encryption separate, all jump well. And I think Acadian's with the leaders as well. Guerrier just behind with Irakanji. Then Not a Single Cent from Outrageous. 2 off to Eldorado Dreaming. Blazing Issue, Seabrook. And Ragged Rascal's been taken back to last. So Encryption's been able to get over. And Separate got across into second with it. Bondi Park's behind, and Acadian a handy 4th and keen. They're followed then by Longleaf on the outside of Guerrier. Then came Irakanji. Further back on the inside, then as the favourite Outrageous. A length clear from Not a Single Cent. Then came further back to Eldorado Dreaming from from Blazing Issue. A length and a half to Seabrook, and Ragged Rascal is the last one. Bowman's got Encryption in the lead of the 800 metres by a half length on Separator. Longleaf is covering a bit of ground on the outside of Bondi and Academe right there in fifth. Further back to Guerrier, a half the outside to Irricandria. Now not a single sense, pulling to the outside, starting a runner. Outrageous back on the inside, trailing a roughie. And then came Eldorado Dreaming around the turn. Encryption leads. Bondi's coming off the fence from Separator. Then Longleaf from Academe. Not a single scent to the outside with Irricandria. And Guerrier's picking up ground. Outrageous is going to need some luck at the 250. Bondi moves up to Encryption. Seabrook coming off the fence now with a good run late. Bondi takes the lead from Seabrook going after it. It's Bondi a half in front to Seabrook. Eldorado Dreaming's flashing home, but Seabrook got to the front and Seabrook goes on to win it. Seabrook got up in the champagne from Bondi and Eldorado Dreaming zoomed home into third. Then came Guerrier from Outrageous Encryption. The field well strung out of the end from Irricandria. Not a single cent from Separate, then Ragged Rascal, Blazing Issue, Longleaf, and Academe was too keen.
Well, that's a great training performance by Mick Price. Seabrook was up and going before the Blue Diamond, came through the slipper program and has competed in the slipper, sires and the champagne and tops the season off with a Group 1 victory over a mile. Seabrook, 8.80 and 3.10. A Group 1 win for Mick Price and Damien Oliver. Defeats Bondi and Eldorado Dreaming. The big roughie from the sires has rattled home to get third.
One tough filly, as you said. She's been through everything. She looked a little flat in the...
Group 1 win on the board at only start number 6, Ollie.
Yeah, she's always had a big opinion of this filly, Bern. And she's just hadn't things gone quite right for this prep, although she's had a win. She got knocked down in the lead up to the Diamond, missed the Diamond, won the lead up to the slipper, and then the gate was a bit against her in the slipper. She ran really well. In last start, she just really bungled the start, and it was a bit puzzling as to why she went so bad, but you had to forgive her for that one bad run, and she deserved a good win today.
She does indeed, and I guess...
Well, she was going into the slipper, so that's just how well of a horse she is, and she's just got so much more improvement to come. Hopefully we have a nice 3-year-old.
So you ride her in all the work?
Yeah, I ride her every day. I've had her since she was a little yearling, so...
Mick Price and Damien Oliver.
Yeah, look, she obviously wasn't herself in the sires, where she was very flat there, but she really bounced back here and run right up to a form, which was really good form. She's been so tough, been going round in everything. Wow, what a ride this was. That's a proper Group 1 ride from Oliver here. He saved the ground, he peeled out, he pounced on them. It was a great ride, and that's taking nothing away from the ride on the second horse as well. Mark Zahra on Bondi, he gave him every possible chance. The more you look at that race, you would have to say Eldorado Dreaming may have been a little bit unlucky. Just got into an awkward spot there, found a bit of trouble, and once she got out, look, she just gets jammed up in the middle there. She was very, very good. So as she proved there was no fluke in that performance, winning at the massive odds last time. What else do I want to say here? Really not too much there. I think that fourth horse has got a pretty big future. It's only second run in a race.
Yeah, Jean Van Overmeer received a...
Okay, now, congratulations to Damien Oliver. I don't know where Damien sits in the all-time Group 1 winners.
All-age stakes before we get into the yard with Duff and Lizzie.
Today, I'm not 100% convinced, and I'll take the chance today with Hartnell, that's proven himself at the course and distance in the past with a couple of wins and some pretty good placings behind Winks as well. Hartnell at the value over Trapeze Artist, and Tom Melbourne, of course, in there for a place, and Brave Smash. I know there's been some concerns about the firm track today, but he's handled it well enough in Japan before coming to Australia. So
235 Trapeze Artist. Two horse they've backed, Brave Smash and Hartnell. Hartnell very much so, 950 to 650.
Tell you what's doing on track, other side of...
Since Wednesday, he went up a $2.60 chance on Wednesday, was 260 into 240 rather quickly, then 235, and he hasn't got back to the 235 since Wednesday evening, but that's where he is at the moment. On the second line of betting, equally are numbers 2 and 3.
Last Group 1 race of the carnival, and we're ready to run the all-age stakes. Gates open now. They're off and racing, and Le Romain given a dig in the ribs out of the gates together with Showtime. And the favourite Trapeze Artist is right up there. So Showtime goes to the front. Out by a half length on Trapeze Artist. Le Romain and the Mission Parks in fourth. Hartnell's pushing forward, looking to drop in for cover. Then came Tom Melbourne, who's kicking through underneath Hartnell. It's somewhat back on the fence from Brave Smash, Mirikeva, and the Japanese import Saturno Racin's back at the tail. Showtime held down the lead, steadies the speed by 3/4 to Le Romain. Trapeze Artist has got cover at the 800 on the outside of the Mission. Two further back to Tom Melbourne, who's racing on the inside of the 7-year-old Hartnell. Then came Brave Smash, it's somewhat Mirikeva and Saturno Racin's last. 600 out, it's Showtime and Le Romain going along at a strong gallop in the lead. Trapeze Artist easing out 3 deep. Hartnell to the outside, wants to go with the favourite. The Mission goes along the fence, and Tom Melbourne's got a bit of traffic. Up the rise of the 300, Showtime is the leader. From Trapeze Artist being called upon, Le Romain is still there. Hartnell's trying to go with the leading trio. Down to the 200, Trapeze Artist moves up to Le Romain. Then Showtime and Hartnell. Le Romain's brave. Trapeze Artist lefty. Trapeze Artist goes to Le Romain. Oh, he leaps to another level today. Trapeze Artist wore down Le Romain to take out the All-Age. Back in third, Showtime in front of the Mission and Hartnell. Then came Mirikeb from Tom Melbourne, Saturno Racing, and Brave Smash on the firm ground, weakened out to finish last.
Yeah, he's the real deal. A stud career put on hold, going on to win the All-Age Stakes, and now the Everest beckons later in the spring. That's what he's going to be set for. He's gone back-to-back with Group 1 wins. He adds the All-Age to the TJ a couple of weeks ago, added to that a Golden Rose. Trapeze Artist beats Le Romain, and third home will be maybe Showtime on the inside from Hartnell, then the Mission, it's somewhat, and Tom back and behind those. What have they done? What is the time?
By 100th of a second, a track record.
A track record, 120.33, 100th inside, solicits track record, which was a Gerald Ryan galloper.
It certainly was. So one Gerald runner.
I suppose that vindicates the decision.
I don't know about that.
Oh no, it's not on again, is it?
It's on again, but I've done my job. He's won his 3 Group 1s this season, so can't do much more with him.
You were saying pre-race that it's been circumstance that he hasn't been able to go bang like he's done here, TJ All-Age.
Yeah, I reckon there were circumstances more than the horse, but no, even today he's gone out there. People will say he wasn't impressive, but he's ran a track record. He's beaten 2 or 3 Group Time winner in Le Romain, who's had more improvement in him coming off the TJ than what we probably did. But he raced well. He got the job done, and all onwards and upwards, hopefully.
For you?
Living the dream, Ty Angland. This is a very exciting horse.
It is. It's a privilege to be a part of it. I've had 4 rides for 3 Group 1 wins on him now, so it's been, a hell of a ride, that's for sure.
And today, there were sort of some people, was evident that they were worried he couldn't put 2 big ones together.
Yeah, there was a couple little doubters, but I was confident. He's got plenty of talent. He's been beaten by, the race he has been beaten in there. They're Group 1 horses, so have a look at him. He's just a little star.
Yeah, the public beckon him to start.
Back to scale after winning another Group 1. He's been one of the stars of this autumn carnival here in Sydney.
To see him in work, but that will be... all will come out. I suppose they have to make that decision. Would you, as an owner, is the question, take the money, or would you race him on?
As an owner, he goes straight to stud. 30, 40, 50 million, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you do your figures, I don't know, what's he going to stand for? I don't know. Look, we'll leave that to Connections to do the deal, if there's a deal to be done. And if not, we're going to enjoy him for another season.
All right, let's go straight to the All, following on the back of a Golden Rose and a TJ Smith.
Yeah, well, he's look, he just camped there where it wasn't his usual style of race where he's been most dominant when they fly up front. This was more of a tactical sprint sort of an affair. But look, he delivered, and he's just sort of justified the ability that we know that he's got. What's that? 3 big big Group 1s now. He's beat the older horses on a couple of occasions. He sticks his head out. He has a go. He breaks the course record. What more can he do? What more can he do? Le Romain was fantastic. Got across nicely and probably had his chance, although he dropped his rein there with about 4 or 5 strides to go, but I wouldn't have thought that would make too much difference there. Showtime, the other 3-year-olds, battled on well. Hartnell wide, no cover, just didn't go hard enough for him. This horse, The Mission's a bit of a sleeper. Like if he goes to Brisbane for a Stradbroke or something like that and finds a wet track, he could be a little dark horse there. First time I've been disappointed in Tom. I thought he should have done a little bit more there yesterday, so a bit disappointing in Tom yesterday.
Maybe really seasons them, but not a lot from the stewards report. Brave Smash lost a hind shoe. He's now going to be spelled, but he was soft in the market and he was also probably didn't parade.
Should he go there? Well, he's second favourite. Red Zell, who he beat in her time, Kementari Vega Magic. Now, when are we going to start to hear from slot holders, and are they going to lock in early? Now, it was a bit of an unknown game last time. Some went early, some went very late. Red Zell was round the middle.
I think they're moving. They're already moving on those top 4 in the market. They're moving behind the scenes. There's no doubt about it.
Okay, well.